Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Welcome live on this Saturday, the first Saturday in February of 2022, to the 836th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio Podcastio Programmio of the stream with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and adorable wife, Joyce, also joining in. Hello, Joyce.
I'm typing Sharon Gless.
She's typing the name of our guest. Oh, let me put on this extra light here, so I get a little more warmth.
Right.
So what's that?
It's very dark.
It is dark. Well, yeah, it's dark and it's gloomy. Oh, that light isn't on. Whoops. Kind of made that mistake. But it looks kind of nice now. Nice and bright here for our very bright, dazzling guest star. It's always backwards when I do this. So that face, that unforgettable face, is Sharon Gless. Notice that I'm a boy in blue this morning because she wore blue. Well, no, I guess she was plain clothes. But she and Tyne Daly were in a little program together called Cagney and Lacey, I guess about 20, 30 years ago. But Sharon Gless has done many other shows since then, including Burn Notice and the Trials of Rosie O'Neill, and I have them all listed, because later in this program, the one, the only, the authorial now, Sharon Gless, because she's just written a memoir called Apparently There Were Complaints. And as Rabbi Saul Solomon has said, that's what he's going to have on his tombstone. Apparently, there were complaints. But I will not be doing the interview with the lovely and talented Sharon Gless. Rabbi Saul will be later in the show. So it should be a lot of fun. If you get a chance, if you want to do some preparatory work before the interview, you might want to read my print chat with Sharon Gless that appeared in Long Island Woman magazine about 2 or 3 months ago. Long Island Woman isn't really available online. You can kind of see the covers of back issues and stuff, and they're sort of readable. If you they have this service where you can go, and it's free, I think. You can click on an old issue and literally read it like a magazine. So you can read it that way, but I also took the text and some images from the interview and put them on my own website, davelefkowitz.org.
It was a great interview. It was a great article.
Well, thank you so much. It was great.
Very interesting. I never knew all the twists and turns,
Well, if you read her book, like every chapter, there's like amazing stuff going on, because she's had quite a life. So if you want to read about it, read my article. But if you want to hear and see Sharon Gless herself, stay tuned, because she will be on this episode of the show talking to Rabbi Saul Solomon in a while. Also, we will have on this program Greeley Crimes and Old Times, which we get from the newspaper of the Greeley Tribune out in northern Colorado. There are 2 columns that they do every week, which have to do with funny phone calls that come into the police department. It's not fake. These are real people in Greeley and Evans and northern Colorado calling in to say, oh my God, this happened in my neighborhood. Please help police. And usually the people themselves need more help than the police do. And then also, what else? Oh, and 100 years ago, where our friend at the Trib, Mike Peters, sorry, I'm just trying to pick up a wire here. Mike Peters goes through the newspaper from 100 years ago and finds the funniest, weirdest, most nostalgic-y kind of things and shares them as well. We mix them up together. We call it Greeley Crimes of All Times. We also do our Colorado Limerick of the Dam. The Limerick is, of course, a tiny little 5-line poem, usually of, shall we say, risque nature. They're not always, but most of the time they are. And I do one every week about some place in Colorado. And today we go to Frederick, Colorado. That's right. We will be in Frederick later on, and I just hope he doesn't scream in horrible pain. Plus, we have one of the things that people really wait for the show is our Today, Yesterday Trivia quiz. And we have our great troika with us. We've got Leslie Hoban Blake, David Sheward, and Vicki Quade, playing our trivia game. You get to play along with them. 10 trivia questions, a lot of fun, a lot of banter, a lot of really weird questions. We do it every week here on Dave's Gone By. So all that, and if there is time, and there may well be, we will have Rabbi Saul sticking around to read the papers. Because Rabbi Saul Solomon, he's been with us since our very first episode. He does most of our interviews now. Sometimes he does a rabbinical reflection. In fact, he'll be doing one next week, next Monday, as not this coming, but Monday hence, for Gingold Theater Group. They're having a Valentine's poetry song monologue slam, and he's going to be taking part of that. It's virtual, so you can just watch it live for free on your interwebs. And he's doing a very special one of Jewish classic Valentine's love poetry. Don't want to miss that. Anyway, well, I'll tell you more about that next week. But it's coming, and it's Rabbi Saul doing that. So, but he's here this week interviewing Sharon Gless, and also he will be reading some of the local Jewish newspapers that we have here in Nassau County on Long Island. They're not Yiddish papers, they're actual recent, like within the last 5 years, there's just been this burgeoning, this springing up of newspapers for the Orthodox Jewish community. And Rabbi Saul pours through them. Sometimes he actually pours hot tea over them and then tries to read them because he likes the challenge. But he goes through them and finds the most interesting parts for you, the audience, to enjoy. All of that today on the 836th edition of Dave's Gone By. But before we get to all that, let me clear my throat and let's do some throat clearing chat and babble with my darling, adorable wife. Hello, Joyce.
You call it babble?
Well, it's a whole. We construct a tower every week on Dave's Gone By, and now we're going to do some tower of babbling here. Let me just get the flame out. So how was your week, dear?
Good. I'm trying to remember my Norton password.
Oh, I thought you had it.
I thought I did too.
Yeah, Joyce's computer had an ouchie this week. Her laptop.
That's like saying the Titanic was like a shipwreck.
What? No. Your computer could have done a lot worse than it currently is. I mean, at some point, Joyce's computer kind of must have fallen. I didn't see it fall or hear it fall. Joyce never heard it fall, but it must have taken a tumble and hit on one side because it cracked the hinge of her laptop. And you figure, okay, it's not a software issue, and it's a fairly minor hardware issue because her screen is fine, and the base is pretty good. I mean, it's just literally like a friggin' hinge, and the way that hinge is attached to the base. So I work in a tech department of a grade school, and so I go to my, I know nothing about tech, so I'm completely lost there. I just answer the phones and then do some clerical stuff involving data. But I go to a guy there who's an expert at these kinds of things, and he said, and he literally takes an hour and a half, paid for by your tax dollars, to go through my wife's laptop and literally open it up, screw by screw, inch by inch. I'm doing this, looking this, blowing out any kind of dirt or dust in there and taking a look to see, is it worth fixing? Or, in this culture, as soon as you get a chip on something, do you replace it? And because it's a little hardware issue, ordinarily it would be like, oh no, no point to buy a new laptop over this. This is, you just, fix the hinge. It's a couple of different parts. I can do it, thank you so much. Put these hinges in, get a new base. Please, thank you. And so he says, the real problem about all this is not going to be my time, because I'm here anyway, and then it's fairly quiet at the school. And the problem is not going to be expense, because if it was going to cost $400, $500, $600, I'd say, just get a new computer. But really, the parts for this shouldn't cost much more than $100. Totally, right? Worth it. Your problem, Dave, is that good luck finding parts.
Well, I think I know someone who works for a car dealership, and they were saying it's not getting the cars, it's getting the chip or there's certain manufacturing delays because of the pandemic that affects even cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can buy it. It'll be $30 if you buy it, but find it.
Could you imagine? They're like, look, we're gonna give you a new hip. We'll get you on the table, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, your prosthetic hip has been it's either been recalled or it's not produced.
The surgeons are in the waiting room, ready to go.
Yes.
However, your titanium hip is on a boat from Malaysia.
We're gonna have to either A, we could use toothpicks.
Yeah.
B, we could somehow graft. I don't know.
Those new bendy straws that are biodegradable.
Straws,
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or C. And this is all non-covered by your health plan, so it's $1 million.
Oh, well, there's that. So he says, here's the problem. And he goes to order, or he tells me what parts to order. You need this part, you need this part, this part. And, looking it over, he said, well, no, wait a minute. It's a touch screen. So, unfortunately, that makes it a lot more difficult to find because regular screen hinges. Yeah.
So unlike you who can type faster than, Superman,
that's because I have extra fingers on each hand.
I can't type, so I need touch screen to help me process. It's very helpful.
Yeah.
So that's why I need it.
Yeah, but I'm saying, unfortunately, I think that makes it worse because he says, oh, wait, no, not this part. It's this part. And he found one website when he was Googling of this very suspect, shady Mac place. He doesn't even have a Mac, but it's a Mac place that sells parts. And it seems to be there. But if you look at the reviews for this place, and it's like everybody's giving them 1 star. It's like, this is not the part I ordered. Tried to contact them. And then every 5th one would be 5 stars. And it's always the person saying, I don't know why everybody's giving this place terrible reviews. They were great. They saved my machine. So, your brain's going like, or. And meanwhile, so we're thinking about that. We're trying to contact HP and saying, is there any place we can get just this stupid $30, $40 hinge part that will save? Because my wife's computer works, but, if we're afraid of the screen falling back, or if it goes forward, there's a thing that will chip the screen, and then it's really sunk. Then you've got to replace the actual glass screen, and that's a couple of $100 and not worth it. So that was this week. But the weird thing is, neither of us remembers it ever falling or getting damaged to the point where not only the hinge would crack, but the top part, the part where the screen is and the case over the screen, kind of separated, and you could see the wires between the case and the screen. And when I brought, because my coworker was trying to sort of diagnose it based on what I was telling him. We sent pictures of it to him. I said, no, I have to see it. So I'm able to bring it in yesterday. And you never like this. I show it to him, and his first words when looking at it, oh my God. You never, I don't care what it is. Somebody's looking at your backed up toilet. Somebody is checking the wiring in your house.
The one thing you don't want to hear?
Yeah.
Well, I've never seen that before. Like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's something
that's
you don't
bad.
want to see in any human. I chatted that Sharon will talk about her book, and you have the book.
I have
Show
the
the book.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. But no, but in terms of just him look, the first thing he said when he sees the hinge and he sees that, I was like, oh my God. I'm like, as soon as I hear those words, I'm thinking hundreds of dollars.
Let me tell you something. He fixed the back cover. That's good. He fixed that.
Yeah, he knows what he's
The back
doing.
cover was like bowed or something. He just put it in. Yeah.
Let me put it this way: if for some reason it wouldn't be possible, but if there had been like an old, broken, like not working laptop of your kind that he could have just cannibalized for parts, he could have fixed it in half an hour.
Wow.
Could have literally fixed everything half an hour.
Crazy.
Instead, we will likely be waiting for weeks to get the part that could fix your machine.
I have to call HP.
Yeah.
So I chatted with HP and I said, how can I get I'd like to order parts, and they chatted me the link, so I have the link to order parts, but they're back ordered, but I can call on Monday to see how back ordered they are.
Right. If it's going to be 2 weeks, fine. If it's going to be 6 months, maybe we get you, or you use that as a desktop, or we just, we bite the bullet and get a new machine and you reinstall Norton and you just do what you have to do.
But I like everything.
Well, I know.
I would probably get a smaller one and get an HP, another one, but without the keypad for numbers. I don't need it.
Yeah, but you like this 17-inch thing because you like watching TV. Is it 17 or 4? I think it's 15
It's
inches.
big. I don't know. It's really been good. It got us.
Men always tell it. When she bought it, men will look at a woman and say, "Oh yeah, it's 17 inches." She'll believe it, right?
It got us through the pandemic with the big screen watching TV.
It absolutely did. No, but this is the same guy, my coworker. When I tell I'm texting somebody or looking for something on my phone, is, "Oh, you gotta get rid of that crappy phone." I'm like, this phone has seen me for like 8 years.
But it is, your phone is.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, okay, it's like, this is my phone. I know it's crappy. At some point, I'm going to get a new one. It's like, oh, bad phone.
Because I have so many apps and stuff on mine. You don't. It's an easier switch.
Yeah, no, my phone. This is what I get all the time. Let me just make sure it's not showing any information about me. Invariably, like first day of the month, like low memory space. You don't have room to do anything on your phone anymore. It's like you sent 3 letters of text. You have used up all your time. You have used up all your minutes and energy. Sorry. So he's right. But, I've been sitting here just waiting to pull the trigger on things,
I had an interesting discussion with one of the tech trainers. So she's like, she really prefers Android, which is what we have. And I used to have iPhone, but with work. But it just depends. I mean, I think for you, like, you'll eventually need to get something, but you have to decide when. And, like, some of these things you want to look at.
Well, yeah. Yeah, no, I'll go into a team.
Yeah.
The problem was we used to have a T-Mobile store locally, and it was useless. Because you would go in there and it'd just be like, high school kids who were minding the store.
The ones in Greeley did everything. They were great.
They were good, but we're not in Greeley at the moment. And literally it would just be, you might as well be going to a Shake Shack. They really, either they were going to sell you something immediately, but in terms of fixing anything or solving a problem,
they weren't trained to
it was pointless.
That's sad.
Whereas I would be very happy to go into a T-Mobile store and say, okay, this is the plan we have. These are the phones we have. I want to upgrade, or maybe my wife wants to upgrade and I'll take her old one.
I got some recommendation for Android phones, but they're like super high end, and I don't think we need it. The one person who recommended it, she does like filming and uses it as a camera, and she said it's so high end, but we don't really. The pictures I take for you are okay with
See, when I was in my 20s, I had a nice high end, but now it's kind of wrinkly. It's sagging a little bit. It's
You have a beautiful end, honey.
Well, thank you, darling. That's my wife, Joyce. So, but also because of the chips and because everything is unavailable now and inflation, a phone that should have cost $250 is now $400.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah. So as long as my beloved, must be about 8 or 9 years old at this point. My beloved LG phone.
Yeah, I think so.
So I was thinking of getting one just before the pandemic hit. That should tell you just how long I've been managing with this phone. And by the way, I think flip phones are coming back.
Really?
I think there are people who just want.
This is the big problem, that they want to kill 3G and just move everyone to 5G. And there's so many people that have phones that are not compatible with it.
Right.
So if they eliminate the lower G's and go to the higher G's, like, it's this whole thing of like, it's inequality, it's inequity. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. This phone is the OG. But wasn't there a thing they were going to institute 5G and then they said, no, stop, because the hospitals will crash or some weird, the planes.
A lot of devices and a lot of things are not up to 5G, so they're 3 or 4G, and you're going to lose those connectivity of those things if you don't. Yeah, no, it's going to be.
They may have had to delay something like because airline pilots were saying they'll be interfered with. Some kind of weird thing was going to happen. Like if you remember, if you were alive during 1999 going into 2000, and everybody was afraid that all the computers and all the clocks and all the doomsday bombs, which were calibrated for the 1900s, would suddenly, the Earth would spin off its axis January 1st, 2000. And it didn't. They fixed whatever they had to fix, and they calibrated what they had to calibrate. By the way, I'm noticing this again. This week, and this is the way this program rolls. You just have to kind of, before we get into our regular segments, you just have to tolerate me, verbalizing for a bit. But I noticed, this week, that this eyebrow had filled in. After years, my eyebrow, for some reason I had like a sparse line going through this eyebrow. And then I was like, oh, I was looking in the mirror at work, and it sounds like I do nothing at work, doesn't it? I just kind of bringing my wife's laptop. I'm on my phone. I'm looking at my eyebrow in a mirror. It's like, this is what I do all week at work. But no, I'm looking, and I'm like, hey, I can't believe it. My eyebrow filled in. I actually have like a straight all the way across eyebrow again. Yay! And now I'm looking at it. Well, now it's red because I've been rubbing it, but it's sparse again. Look at that. I didn't touch it. I didn't do anything, and now it's sparse right there. You see that?
What did the groundhog say?
That's scary. I think our groundhog said 6 more weeks of winter. So, tis what, certainly judging by this week, when we would be having it. We had our big snowstorm last Saturday while we were on this program. We were in the midst of a nor'easter. So very happy that we didn't lose power last week, and then had to go out there and shovel. And it's one thing when it really does make a difference when you get 3 or 4 inches of snow. You go out there on the driveway, you just kind of get the walk, you shovel, you basically get her done, and one shot, and you have a little hot cocoa, and that's your day. But when you have 8 to 10 inches, it is different, man. I went out there and got through just the walk, and I was already like, okay, I'm going to do a little bit more, and then I need a break. I'm going to go inside, and did, and then came back out and did more, and even then, it really probably wasn't enough properly to get the car out. So Monday morning, when I have to go to work, I'm like, okay, there's a path. I can walk the path, and there's one path down the driveway. So one car wheel is going to be just fine. It'll be a little tilty, but one car will get the car out of the driveway and then onto the roads. But then, my mother's awake and Joyce is awake, and my mom is like,
I was in the bathroom in my bathrobe it's not really a full robe.
Do you want to come on and demonstrate that? Do you want to maybe get into your robe and be naked underneath so we can get some ratings on this thing? So, and Mom is like, the car's not going to go out. You got to shovel more. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, and the thing is, we have, it's not my car. It's my mom's car. It was my parents' car. Is it an SUV? What would you call it? It's a vehicle. It's
like is it all wheel or 4-wheel?
It's a Toyota RAV. So it's not a small car. It's not a little Honda Civic.
I don't know what it would be.
It's not a Fiat. It's a friggin' Toyota.
No, a Fiat is smaller.
Right. It's a thing. It's and I'm like, what the frick? What is the point of having an SUV if you're not going to be able to drive it over,
Especially if it's 4-wheel.
Yes.
What I had said is, like, in Colorado, you drove in snow. You drove in some, Colorado, like, my mom was telling me this story when they came to visit us, not in May, but October.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, Dad got on the highway, was going the wrong way. He had to turn around, and it was, like, icy. Then they get to the airport, and she was like, the plane was completely iced, and the pilot's like, we do this all the time. And it was, like, half hour, they de-iced, and they were fine.
Well, the car we have now is bigger than the car we had in Colorado.
But it's not bigger. Subarus have better all-wheel off-road. Subarus are designed to really handle inclement weather. That's the...
But this one is higher off the ground, so you would figure, at the very least...
But you need the 4 wheels to work independently, the front and the back. Like, you don't want front-wheel drive because your tush will spin. You want to have...
And that is painful.
You want to have wheels that can grip and,
and do it. I don't know. I'm assuming this car has 4-wheel. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But then, just what I want to do Monday morning before I'm heading to work, I have to be at work quite early. Most people are 9 to 5s. This is not a 9 to 5 job. So I'm out, and defrosting the car, because really most of the time in the mornings on weather like we've been having, it's about just sitting in the car waiting for the windshield to de-ice. I mean, that's all it is. It's not like the old days, and I was talking about this last week, of having to start the car, make sure it turned over, keep the car going so it warms up the car. Now it's just you can sit in the car is fine, but you just can't see out the windshield, right? So you gotta just run it, and the defroster do its work. But meanwhile, I'm also like, oh God, I have to get the shovel out, go and just shovel another path big enough so that the other wheel can go down and out, and I can get the hell out in the morning on a Monday. So, but that's my snow story. I don't really have more than that. It was kind of nice that we had over the past 2 days before a freeze again, weather in the 30s and 40s. So the snow, there was so much of it, and except for the big clumps where people were shoveling onto, and the town vehicles that scoop and then push the snow, those you can still see, but the regular stuff on the lawns and on the roads is gone, which is kind of neat. Anyway, that was kind of a meh end to the story, wasn't it? See, what the hell happened to this eyebrow? This was full. Do you, at night when I'm sleeping, do you go to me and pluck hair out of my eyebrow? Look at that. Look at that. It was fine this week. I'm having eyebrow alopecia. Here, Joyce is going to comb it for me. I'm having a brow lift. There we go. Oh, thank you. Okay. Oh, little, can you get that bold spot? That'd be, there we go. Oh. You didn't see the last bit, which is probably good. Anywho, I'm Dave Lefkowitz. This is Dave's Gone By. It's our 836th episode, which we are calling Gless Menagerie, because...
Thumbs up while I was doing that, David. That's concerning.
Yeah, everything I say, people are like, what is this idiot talking about? But as soon as Joyce comes on and starts combing my face, suddenly I go, oh, thumbs up. Yeah, more of this. Well, we're going to get some of this pretty, in a while. Sharon Gless coming on the program to talk to Rabbi Saul Solomon. We'll have Greeley Crimes and Old Times. We will have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. Rabbi Saul reads the papers. And our Today, Yesterday trivia quiz. What else shall we talk about before we get to Greeley Crimes and Old Times? Oh, well. The agony and the ecstasy. If you remember ABC's White World of Sports, right? Like agony and ecstasy. So ecstasy is, I really, really don't care about the Winter Olympics. Don't care. Not even that they're in China. It's just, who cares? I'm a 58-year-old man. I've never been on a pair of skis. I'm too scared to get on a pair. It's enough that when I was shoveling, I almost slipped and broke my neck because there was a sheet of ice on the driveway. Literally, I was wearing clunky boots with cleats, and I could not get any kind of footing on a patch of ice. I don't need to be on ice skates or roller skates ever again, or one of the roller blades or hoverboards. No, thank you. I'm 58. Leave that to them. I don't really need to see people doing that. However, there is one ice item.
Oh no.
That thrills my heart.
Oh, I wanted to tell you, if you look at the Google images, right, the Google logo. There's a little animal on a. Did you see him?
No, I didn't see it.
Look, just.
I guess I could. Hold on.
Yeah.
This is exciting for me.
Yeah, one of the last animal is a little. It's a little something.
Let me see Google. I'm just Googling real quick, folks, and you can do this too at home. Kindly join us. So I don't want Google me. I just want friggin' Google. Thank you. I literally will not allow me just to go to Google. This is hilarious. It just goes right to Google Mail.
No.
There we go. Oh, it's not even showing. What are you showing me? All I get is this. All I get is the word.
Oh, it used to be a little. Do Google. What do you call those things? Google. Images. Google,
icon.
Google Doodle.
Google Doodles.
Yeah.
I made one of those this morning before I started
No, keep going down. The one is a Olympics one. Keep going.
Where's the recent one? I get maybe they'll have these in order of. Is that it?
One, no.
Well,
this one, look, that's curling.
Oh, let me say, listen, Winter Games.
Yes, that's curling.
Again, yes! Oh, it's a cute little, it's like a chipmunk holding a curling stone. Oh, I'm excited by this. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's no particular reason why I do love the sport, if you can call it that, of curling. And yet the absurdity of it, it's sort of like if cornholing were an Olympic sport, I would be there in the stands, sleeping overnight to get online to get a good seat to see that. So, I mean, curling is a sport, and it's got tactics, and it's got, but there's just something so nutty about it, and beautiful about it. It's like golf on ice in a strange, well, not really. I don't even know what the hell it's like. It's curling. right? And you know what curling is. It's this weird thing. It's like bowling in some respects. Yeah, the whole idea of curling is trying to like figure out how to make a difficult spare is the same logic behind curling.
The Curling Association, they have a What is Curling with the video, with an animated video. So I put that in the chat in case people don't know what curling is.
So the guy bowls the stone down the ice and tries to get it in the center, in the target. So that's like darts. But at the same time, what happens is everybody gets like 8 ends, they call them, or 10 ends. And then you try to knock the other person out of the ring and get as many points as you can by the end. And so I forced my wife to watch a documentary about curling. And it wasn't, well, was it Losers? Was that the one? The show on Netflix called.
We watched Losers.
Yeah.
And that was on
Peacock, I think.
And American Heroes or American something.
There were 2 different curling documentaries.
On Netflix. I think American
Heroes or something, and then Losers was a whole different one. But there was one curling story about this team, and the beautiful thing about curling is back in the day, and we're talking about 30, 40 years ago, it was a sport, and they took it very seriously.
David, Losers is on Netflix.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to go on Peacock.
And they took it very seriously, but at the same time, I mean, literally, you would have a curling team, and I'm talking about in the Briar Cup. I'm not talking about just local. I'm talking about a competitive curling team. And the guy, before taking a shot, he put down his beer, he put his cigarette in the ashtray. He wouldn't stub it out because the cigarette wasn't done. And then he'd go bowl the stone and then come back and finish the cigarette. These are the athletes we're talking about who were playing curling back in the day in Canada and competing for the Briar Cup. And what happened was, this story about this guy who wasn't,
The one on Netflix is called Losers, and the one on Peacock is called American Rock Stars.
American Rock Stars, that was it. Yeah. American Rock Stars. So each of those programs had an episode about curling. So this is appointment television for Dave Lefkowitz. Let me take curling, right? And what was interesting is that there was one guy who changed the game and made it into a defensive sort of game. And it made so much less fun. And it was so boring for viewers. And yet the guy was winning. So it was halvesy-halvesy. It's kind of like when you have a football team that has a killer defense. You get very low scoring games. And it's not all that interesting. You can't, all the passes are dropped and they keep the ball on the ground and there's not a lot of points and but a monster defense could win you a Super Bowl. So it was the same thing with curling. They figured out that instead of trying to get the ball, the stone in the middle, or try to group the stones, or this is just basically, let's spend every end except the last one knocking our opponent away. Knock the opponent away. Knock the opponent. Let them get no points on the board. We don't care if we don't get any points on the board. And then in the last one, we try and maneuver one stone more than them, and we win. And so, yeah. And this is I'm just glued to the TV set, the computer, that we're watching this on. Curling.
Even the Beatles went curling.
The Beatles went curling. Wow. I want to hold your stone. I don't even want to. Yeah. Let's not even go there. But, and then there was another one about another curling team and how they manage it and how they. What was the other one about on American Rock Stars? What was that?
American Rock Stars was all about how they won that series, right?
Yeah. But what was special about it? Why was it worth an episode? Why was it worth a story?
I think it's going on. I think it shows them just as like the dad thing that went ahead. And I think Losers is about a whole bunch of different sports figures that win. So Losers is a series, not just about curling.
Yeah, no, but there was an episode about curling on one and an episode about curling on the other. And I forget
think it was very similar. I think the rock stars, it just showed the history of the sport and how they interviewed more of the curling. I don't know.
The legends. There are legends of curling.
I know.
There really are. But there are.
And they smoke a lot and they're happy.
But I just, the idea, again, I just love, and I'm not the only one. I know this. There's always the nerd clique that come out of the woodwork when the Olympics happens and the Olympic trials happen, where they don't really care. They don't care about the beautiful skiing and then the magnificent ice twirling and whatever other luge and what's the thing where the guy goes the hornpipe thing? I don't know what the hell it's called. They bundle him up like a cocoon, and he goes a zillion miles an hour around loop-de-loop, like just kind of not get killed. It says someone always gets killed in one of those. They just end up taking the turn wrong, and they fly off into the trees and are dead. But yeah, fine. That's kind of fun, that one. But the other stuff is like, all right, great, fine. But something about curling brings out like the Dr. Demento fan in all of us. It was like, let's just watch this. Like people dressed fairly normally, squatting down, taking a stone, throwing it forward on a lane, just like you would if you were going bowling in Milwaukee, and then seeing how you do.
Apparently there's photos of the Beatles curling, so now that's my new thing to look up.
Oh, this is going to be magnificent, magnificent. And of course the sport has changed and morphed again. Now it's taken a bit more seriously. It's a legit Olympic sport. You've got mixed doubles with women, and now they're starting to look more like athletes. You know, the women are good looking, the men are built.
Look at this.
What?
George Harrison and John Lennon, the curling rink.
Oh, that's wow. So what's killing me? That's all ecstasy, essentially. And I've never taken ecstasy because I don't need to because I have curling. The idea that the Olympics are happening now, and as we speak, professional curling, well, no, it's amateur curling is going on, and I can't watch it. Here comes the agony part, because if you have Peacock is free if you want to watch reruns of like Psych and Monk and Law and Order and Dateline and whatever shows from 20, 30 years ago. Fine, great, nice to have them. You have to sit through these commercials endlessly, but there you are. But I'm going to watch the Olympics. I don't have a television here. We just have access to computer. And so...
Apparently they're doing it in Detroit, Michigan.
Right, so...
Because if you're going to curl, where else would you do it?
Absolutely. The Swahili curling team never does too well. But... And of course, the Polish curling teams, they drown. So,
oh, God help us.
But
it's like bowling. To me, it has the same flavor. Like I remember my dad used to watch bowling, and I'm like, is this really a sport?
I love bowling.
I know, but I don't feel that's a sport.
And I used to watch bowling on probably was Saturday afternoons on ABC TV, and I rooted for Mark Anthony and was it no, not Mark, Earl Anthony and Mark Roth. And a couple of other guys.
Married to J-Lo.
And it was fun. For an hour and a half, we would just watch this bowling match. I loved it, and I would bowl too. Saturdays and Sundays, I just trundle off to the local bowling alley and do it. So there is a connection really between bowling and curling, and probably cricket as well. I love it. And I can't freaking watch it. Thank you, Peacock, because they want me to pay $4.99 a month.
Because they know it's so popular. That's the problem. It's underdog syndrome. Everybody's like, like I told you, I have a dear friend she's brilliant, and she said she attended Olympics, and they wanted to see one event, and they said, okay, you can get tickets to this event, we'll give them to you, but you have to sit through curling. And she was like, come again, what? And she said, we sat through curling. There were like 5 people in the stands, and then they got to go to the event they really
wanted to go see. How long ago was that? Like 10 years?
I don't know, but
it was recent.
I don't know. I think it was not that.
I would have been like, I don't want to see, Sean whatever at his pipe. The guy who just said he's retiring. It's in the news today. The skier, whatever. I don't want to see this. I want to see Lindsey Vonn for obvious reasons, but all these other people, no, take me to curling. Yeah. What, Muhammad Ali has a boxing match? He's come back from the dead to take on Larry Hagler? No! Bring me to curling!
Because they said, like, we can't be boxers, we
Marvin
can't
Hagler.
be Olympic skaters, we can't be luge or whatever, but we have a chance of being curlers. Like, it doesn't seem like it's so unattainable.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It seems like a more reachable goal.
Wait. When does the Olympics resemble Cousin It?
I don't know when.
when they put their hair in curlers. That's not even. I try. I try. Ain't gonna be getting no thumbs up for that one. I'm telling you. Not even. Not hardly. No. Let's do some. Speaking of cold places, I think Greeley, Colorado got some snow and ice this week, just like we did a few days before. So why don't we trundle over there to northern Colorado for our first official segment of this episode of Dave's Gone By. We call it Greeley Crimes in Old Times. Has to do, well, I've explained it, but I'll explain it again. There are 2 columns in the Greeley Tribune newspaper, which looks a little something like this. And one of them is phone calls that come into the local police precinct of people seeing weird things in the community. And the other is taken from items that were in the actual newspaper back in 1922, 100 years ago. We mix them up in this segment and call it all Greeley Crimes in Old Times. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Greeley Crimes and Old Times on this episode of Dave's Gone By. Are you ready? Are you feeling criminal, dear? Are you ready for some criminality?
I'm not Fiona Apple.
No, well, but you've got a nice pair. Okay, thank you so much. It's Greeley Crimes and Old Times time on this episode of Dave's Gone By. Let us begin with some brand new crime. A caller on 9th Street. Oh, hold on. Yellow? A caller on 9th Street said, a woman across the street acted like she was going to throw her bike into oncoming traffic. Okay. I would probably.
Maybe that's who broke my computer, that lady.
She threw her bike at your computer. That could happen.
She meant to have my computer first.
You know, if someone threatens to throw their bike at you, does that make them a spokesperson? Oh, that was really, really funny.
Sorry. Oh my God. Okay.
A caller. Oh, another one. Hello. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I get it. A caller at a woman's fashion store said a man was dancing and staring at employees and making people feel uncomfortable. I guess he's out of fashion doing that. Yeah, I get staring at employees in a fashion store. Maybe they're cute, but dancing.
I like it. Listen.
Yeah.
Why not? If you can get your aerobic activity in and do some exercise, maybe he thought that was flirting. You know, like in some species, the males, the way they lure the female is by doing some. Yeah. Remember, we saw that nature show with the peacock doing the dancing, or the turtles. You know, like maybe he was trying to woo some of the ladies.
It's, absolutely. And let's be honest, I have done this, and I know there was a famous Seeing Ally McBeal where they brought it almost to like a musical number. But have you ever been in like a department store or in a supermarket and they're playing music and you start like...
Oh, you're the only one who does that.
Oh, come on. I cannot possibly be the only guy who's like, on the line waiting and the music's on. I'm like...
It's because you got the rhythm, honey. You're just a good dancer.
No, that's the one thing I do not have. There is any sort of rhythm at all. No, but I'm getting into a rhythm here.
Dance class at UNC. You were the only boy.
No, there were like two guys, and the other guy could actually dance. So it was really humiliating.
Worse. Yeah. That's even worse.
Yeah. And he didn't have to. He was incredibly tall and good looking. And so all I had to do was sort of stand there and like, and one girl was trying to get in his pants, was dancing around him,
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was
Is that the dance class? That's what you do? That seems pretty...
Well, no, it was literally, they were trying to compress the history and how to teach dance into like 3.5 days.
Would you ever teach students to do dancing?
No, but we had to. It was actually a great course in that we learned to choreograph a number that, not about dance, but about selling a song through movement and through very basic dance-like steps.
Did it help you do your shows?
I think you did.
Jay David helped you, get yourself bigger.
Oh yeah.
Like use your full wingspan.
But yeah, no, that part of the course was tremendously useful and helpful. But the part where I had to dance with other people was not tremendously.
Why were you wearing tights and a tutu? You were the only one wearing it.
That was a personal choice.
Everybody else was dressed regular.
Yes. Let's get back to some criminality, shall we?
The thing is, I can't face you and do the thing, so I gotta turn.
Yeah, you can. As long as you hear me, you can do that.
I posted a picture of Snoopy dancing, and I posted the zombie saying, "Join us for the Sharon and Gless," and then I posted the Beatles.
The Beatles curling
in Detroit doing curling.
A caller on 10th Street. Oh no. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. How do I even know what they're saying if I don't pick up the phone? A caller on 10th Street reported. This is scary. 2 men eating a pizza and leaning up against the door while looking into the business.
You know what that's called? Lunch break.
Yes, it's called window shopping. It's called like just kind of hanging out, eating pizza, and looking in a store window.
Maybe they were watching the guy dance. Like, damn, I didn't know Tom could dance like that.
And as they were looking in the window, they saw the reflection of the woman with a bike who was about to throw the bike in the trash.
Listen, dancing this store to pick up women is better than paying for like online dating, being catfished, or going on Tinder or Grindr,
Yeah, absolutely.
Or, like paying for that speed dating. So you might as well just,
If I was ever on a dating site, it'd be Blunder. I'm going Blunder.
I do feel bad for people who work like in those fields and like somebody might like them and constantly come visit their store and you don't care for them. That's creepster.
That's part of that. Same as it ever was, Yeah. All right, let's do some old time stuff. These are items that were in the Greeley Tribune Republican newspaper, as it was called back then, 100 years ago. And our friend Mike Peters finds the funniest or the ones that, from modern eyes, are the most like, oh, really? That's what they published back then. So, this one isn't old. A Fort Collins man was an alt when he got into an argument with an alt resident. The alt man bit him on the finger and has been charged with mayhem. I guess back then they had mayhem as a thing. Check this out. The Fort Collins man lost his finger due to blood poisoning, and it appears his arm may have to be amputated at the elbow. Good God.
So the mouths are dirty,
Yeah, no, you would hear about that.
The mouth, like,
yeah.
So my mom's friend had lupus, and a cat, animal bit her, and being bit, like it's bad because you're okay with your bacteria that lives within you, but when it goes on somebody else, that's bad.
I know, but imagine just a guy bites you on the finger, and suddenly you lose half the arm.
Someone probably had, I don't know, whatever sepsis, whatever they call it.
Yeah. Man, I just hope someone gave him a hand.
Mr.
And you know what happened after that? He had a crime wave. See, this is a visual. Yeah, you probably shouldn't. Okay. After an editorial in this newspaper, the Denver chief of police ordered the confiscation of smutty magazines. The editorial pointed out that the magazines featured nudists and are being read mostly by school children. This is 1922.
What is going on? What is going on?
What visual quality could they possibly have back then?
It's probably a stick figure.
Well, where's the stick? Two of the publications, this is great, two of the publications which have been stopped are Purple Pup and Trashy Truck magazines. Purple Pup magazine as a nudist.
I would love it. As a kid,
yeah.
I mean, I love animals, so as a kid, that would really be...
Yeah, but it wouldn't be there'd only be one thing that'd be purple. It wouldn't be a pup. And Trashy Truck magazines.
Cousin Adam said good morning.
Good morning, Cousin Adams. 2 Kingsburg men arrested for making liquor, and I don't blame them for wanting to liquor, told the judge it was 80% alcohol and, quote, completely free of poisonous matter, unquote. They were still fined $100 each and sentenced to 30 days in jail. I'm glad that there was that kind of quality control back then. that you could buy liquor or any sort of food and be assured that it was completely free of poisonous matter. Anyway, let's also do some elsewhere stuff because just in a couple of minutes we're going to have our friends coming in to play the yesterday trivia quiz.
The quiz starts when?
Quiz is going to start about 10 o'clock, so or 5 to 10 even. If well, let's David and Vicki will be here before 10.
What time is it?
Let me just see something. Oh, that's very nice. Okay, here we go. This is actually going to be relevant next week, but I want to get the fun stuff out of the way this week because the 16th annual Frigid New York Festival is happening off-Broadway from February 16th to March 6th. And as I mentioned last week, next Saturday's show, we're going to have a very special interview segment because 5 people who are either performing or playwrights or directing in this off-Broadway theater festival will be joining Rabbi Saul to talk about their plays and about theater and New York and life in general. It should be fun.
So what are they doing? They're from the past or the future?
No, I mean, this is happening February 16th through March 6th, the Frigid Festival. It's a festival of independent theater artists with a lot of solo shows, decidedly non-Broadway oriented productions. And one of the things I used to love when I was working at Playbill, and it was one of the things that I kind of invented when I was working there 20-something years ago, was when these festivals, the Midtown Fringe Festival and oh God, I've already forgotten the name of it. The big fringe that they used to have,
The Midtown Fringe,
New York Fringe, Midtown International Festival.
Yeah.
And the fun part is to be noticed because you literally had dozens of shows competing for eyes and customers and dollars. To, literally on a given day, there'd be 30 shows playing, some of them in different venues against each other. So how do you get recognized? How do you get people in the seats? Well, first thing is you want a ridiculous title. You want the most dumb title where someone is going to go, I think I'll see that. So that's become sort of a tradition in these festivals. To find the most oh my God titles and I wonder what that show is and maybe I'll go see it. So some of the titles of this upcoming Frigid New York Festival, the 16th annual one that they're doing, are A Hanky and a Top Hat.
Oh, I like that.
Well, I have both. Actually, I've got a top hat in the other room and here's my horrible, disgusting hanky.
If you want your top hat, let me know.
Maybe later, but
okay.
A Hanky and a Top Hat is an autobiographical show about a boy who stutters but dreams of becoming a professional musician. Sorry. Yeah. Love and Sex on the Spectrum. So this has 2 things. It's got sex in the title, love in the title, and it's all about dating while autistic.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, and it's an autistic endeavor.
That is really
Here's
interesting.
a title, Portly Lutheran Know-It-All.
Portly Lutheran Know-It-All.
Yes, there's a memorable title for you. About a boy in a religious school who starts acting out, where he says, quote, retaliatory arts and crafts quickly ensue. Here's a title. Again, these are all titles of actual shows in the upcoming Frigid Festival. That shit don't work, does it? It's all about the human mind. Okay, well, that amused me. A show called The Pleasure Is Mine. Pretty normal title. And then comedian Molly Brenner's very long journey to her first orgasm. Okay, I'm there.
That's a sad one.
3. Now, how many tickets did the movie 3 Weddings and a Funeral sell? Because it was a great title. It was a fun film. 3 Weddings, and it was a great high concept of 3 Weddings and a Funeral. Well, this man is doing a show called 3 Funerals and a Chimp. 3 Funerals and a Chimp, ladies and gentlemen. An autobiographical tale of a guy coping with the deaths of his mother, brother, and father. So, yeah. But again, if you just told people, yeah, I'm doing this autobiographical solo show, what is it about? Oh, that all these people died really close to each other, and, I'm really sad and I love them. And it's like, yeah, okay. I think I'm just going to go across the street and see Wicked again. But if you call it 3 Funerals and a Chimp, I think you have something going on. By the way, I'm wondering why we don't have any of our people yet. Let me remind some folks.
Yeah, I think you should. Vicky's in the chat, so Vicky's here.
Oh, so she's watching. She's here.
Yeah,
because I think we want people on at like 9:55 to start because we got Sharon Gless coming at 11. So I'm just gonna say it's open, and there she goes. She literally just entered the waiting room. So let me just do one more title. This is perfect timing because Vicki is a theater person herself. One more title from our Frigid Festival coming up. Tomatoes tried to kill me, but banjos saved my life. That's an actual title. It's really about cancer, but there you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end that there, but that is this week's Greeley Crimes and Old Times.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool.
Oh, no, he wasn't.
I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi, 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 yi-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Here we are, it's just about 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time, here in the Daverhood, where you are watching the 836th episode of Dave's Gone By. With me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife Joyce on all the audio there, and joining us, as they do so many weeks, for trivia and fun, it is our friends Vicki, Quade from Chicago. It's such a disconnect between what's behind you and where you are.
It's in the outskirts of Chicago. I mean, there is a lot of farmland around Chicago.
Yeah, but that looks like sand. That kind of.
I know it does, but it's not. It's snow.
No, is that? Oh, really? That picture of snow? I thought it was from your trip to Egypt. I thought.
No. That's snow in a community outside of Chicago.
Now, you know, when I look at it closer, it looks more like snoo.
Snoo.
What's snoo?
Nothing. What's new with you?
Yeah, nothing much. What's snoo with
David,
you?
You should never have asked it. You just go, uh-huh.
Thank you for giving that. And that is David Sheward, by the way. Now, David Sheward is a theater critic for theaterlife.com, culturaldaily.com. He has a blog called The David Desk as well. So let me ask you both. Now, Vicki, you're getting back into like the swing of America after having been in Egypt for 2 weeks. How was your week back?
It was fine. I mean, I would say 3 days. I really had a hard time adjusting. You know, it took longer this time than normal. But you know, at 3 p.m, you're like, oh yeah. I force myself to stay awake, but it's fine now. And
did you have any kind of social disconnect after? I mean, you weren't in Egypt.
You do always. I think so. Like you know, you land in Chicago and you think yesterday I was in Alexandria, or people who come back from Paris. I was having coffee at a lovely little cafe. Here I am back in New York. You know, so
we're back. Yeah. Let me ask. Also, did you? What was my question going to be? Like, have you performed since you were back? Did you do your show last weekend? Or
yes, we did. We did shows last weekend and again this weekend. So, and our numbers are better in February. I think people are wanting to get out a bit more. So that's
well. How's the curve in Chicago? Because in New York, it is dropping precipitously over the last 2 weeks of COVID. Like, it went and then got zoom. Like Black people are still dying for some crazy reason, but that will tail off soon too. How's Chicago?
No, it is dropping off, so that's nice. Now, but the thing is, I went out to dinner last night, and I was able to get 9 people together at a restaurant that we normally go to, that you have to be vaxxed and everything to get in. Mm-hmm. But when I said, are you going out to movies? Are you seeing anything? A lot of them were like, no, and they wouldn't travel. They don't want to be on an airplane.
Oh, no, I mean, I will go to a show again before I travel.
If you travel overseas, you have to have a negative test in order to get overseas, and then a negative test to come back.
Which is sensible, except so many people have false positives and the tests aren't exactly foolproof. So you get people who know they don't have COVID at the airport, and suddenly there's like an whatever test, and they have to wait, and they're stuck. So I'm like, I don't want to deal. I do not want to whatever. But David Sheward, you're back. I mean, you didn't really go away. How are you doing?
I'm feeling better. I am feeling better. I'm planning to go back to my teaching job on Monday.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay.
I've still got pain and discomfort, but I feel okay enough,
For people who don't watch the show every week,
Yeah, I was hit with a car.
Yeah, he just before Christmas, a car plowed into him and broke 6 of his ribs.
Yeah.
So he's been home for about a month and a half, but now ready to go back and
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a challenge, but I'll be going back.
Well, when you say it's going to be a challenge, I mean, you don't need a cane to walk around.
No, I don't need I don't need a cane, but I have discomfort and I have pain and it's difficult. I feel stiff.
That's for your husband to deal with. But no.
Did he go to PT? Did he have physical therapy?
Did you go? Do you have any kind of physical therapy? Where you give?
Yes.
To what? To breathe, or what do they teach you? What do they
stretching and electrodes on my back and shoulder? And
those feel good.
Tell him to go to
acupuncture. I love those.
Oh, I did get some acupuncture. Didn't really. Okay, I don't think it did anything.
Yeah, when I have had bad backs and things like that, I got the electro pulse things.
Yeah,
they didn't really do anything except they felt so good while they were happening. I loved it.
Yeah,
I wish
it's okay. It's okay.
It's all right. Okay.
So I'll still be going to physical therapy. And just getting on with things.
So you're knitting back together. Yeah. And how much long is that? A 6 month? I mean, do you have like another year where that's going to happen?
I don't know. You mean, I don't know. They tell me that I will probably have, some pain and discomfort for quite a while, maybe a couple of months. I hope not, but that doesn't mean, but everything should be, back together.
Not good. All right, I have a question though for Vicki. Vicki, can you pick a number between 1 and 6 and tell me what it is?
I will pick 4.
Vicki with a 4. David?
Let me see. So 3.
David with a 3.
Has anybody sent a text?
Well, I
Leslie?
you guys to say it. But I have Leslie. Oh, wait. Look at this. Is
she coming in? Excellent.
So this will be another 10 minutes as she attempts to log in. But yeah. But
I need to. I'll be right back. I just need to get a cup of tea, rather. Just 1 second.
Go for it.
Then I'm going to drink my coffee.
Let me roll the die as Leslie comes on. Well, actually, no. If she's coming on, I'm going to ask her real quick what her number is.
Yeah. We got a minute.
Yeah. We actually don't. We have to be done by 11. So that's why I got to rush through this a little bit.
Screwing around.
Leslie Hoban Blake, welcome.
Leslie.
Welcome to the Daverhood. How are you?
Oh, can't hear you.
Audio, unmute. There we go.
Nope.
Okay, better. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Welcome.
Okay. So what happened? Welcome. You asked me how I am. I actually thought I had a cold, which would be the first one I've had since December of 2019. And I didn't. I just had I got a chill, and so I was sneezing and coughing, and I'm fine.
Oh,
I mean, it didn't even last a full day, so I'm fine.
Good.
I did, however, break my lampshade. That's my hat. My lampshade's over there. It's some weird metal thing, and if one piece breaks, the whole thing comes apart. So now I have to go buy a new lampshade when the weather breaks a little bit. How cold is it in Chicago?
Very cold.
Well, we're 21 degrees this morning right now.
Yeah, it's about that here. No, it's about that here.
Oh, okay. That's not usual for us, but that's what it is. You want my number? 6. My number 6. 6.
Your number 6. Leslie is 6. So we have all 3 numbers. I'm going to roll the die to see. Let's roll it. And now I'm just going to wait for the actual numbers to come up. I'm not going to play with these. So Leslie, it came up number 6. Do you want to be first, second, or third?
Second, please.
Leslie was second. Okay, I'm going to roll the die again. Came up number 2.
Morning, David.
Good morning.
Good morning. Number 6 again.
Morning, Vicki. I never said good morning. Excuse me.
David Sheward, do you want to be first?
Oh, that light's in a bad place. Sorry, that light's in a bad place.
What?
Do you want to be first or third?
I'll be first.
First. David Sheward, Leslie Hoban,
I am
and then Vicki as we play the Today Yesterday game. I'm gonna go through this a little quicker than usual because we have to be done by 11 for our guest coming in. So let us begin our Today Yesterday quiz of trivia.
Who is your guest today?
Sharon Gless. You know, from
Oh,
Wow,
really?
yes, of course I know who she is.
Wonderful.
Yeah. We're pretty excited about it.
She
So,
actually came to the Royal George to see one of my shows.
Really? How long ago?
Years ago. She had filmed a movie here called Hannah Free, which was written by Claudia Allen and produced by Tracy Bain. And one of my actresses, Elaine Carlson, was in the movie.
Oh,
And Elaine was doing my show, Sunday School Cinema, which ran on Sundays, and dressed in a habit. And Sharon decided to come with Claudia Allen. And while she was sitting in the audience, people were going, it looks just it's like Sharon
nudge,
Gless.
nudge. Right.
And it really was. Oh, cool. Well,
And it was.
Did she have the short white hair at the time, or did she have her longer hair?
No, I think it was shorter. It was short and it was kind of blondie white.
Okay,
Okay.
moving
Okay.
on.
David's going,
Moving
let's
on.
go.
That's the end of my conversation. I won't
Back to the
chat with
game.
anybody anymore.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right, let's begin. Well, David Sheward gets the first question. So here we go. The year was 1597. This is for 2 points, and it is a multiple choice question. 26 Japanese Christians, seen as a threat to the Japanese government, were crucified today, thus becoming the 26 martyrs. Which of these is false about Japan? A, although McDonald's is very popular in Japan, their mascot is called Donald McDonald because Ronald McDonald is hard for the Japanese to pronounce. B, Japanese houses have raised floors to alert you when to take off your shoes. C, Japanese farmers perfected the square watermelon, which is not only easier to store, but is even sweeter and tastier than the American ones. Or D, if you commit suicide by jumping in front of a train, your family gets fined hundreds of thousands of yen for the disruption.
So which of these is false?
Which of these is false? The others are true.
I think the Ronald McDonald one.
Is that your
Yes.
final answer? I love when comical racism is true. It's actually, it really, they call him Donald McDonald over there because it So we have a steal opportunity here. With
Oh, that's not. I was giving him the letter. Okay, sorry. Okay.
It's A. I'm sorry. A is not.
A
is not. Okay, got
It's
it.
not. We don't know what it is yet.
Go ahead.
But we soon will. I have no. That's a number 2. Here's a Leslie Hoban Blake. We just got number 6. You get to steal this question.
So Ronald is out. The floors are higher. Just read me B, C, and D, please.
Sure. Japanese houses have raised floors to alert you when to take off your shoes.
Yeah.
C, Japanese farmers have perfected the square watermelon, which is not only easier to store, but is even sweeter and tastier than the American ones. Or D, if you commit suicide by jumping in front of a train, your family gets fined hundreds of thousands of yen for the disruption.
Which is false.
Which of these 3 is false?
Okay. I actually believe the watermelon is true. I think I read something about that. It may not have been grown in Japan, but I do believe there's a square watermelon. The trains should run on time, and the floor, which is false. Damn, I'm really low on Japanese knowledge. I'll say the train one is false. D.
D. You'll say the train one is false.
They may get fined, but there's a specific amount or something.
Is that your?
Yeah.
Well, this will give you something to chew on. Little choo-choo trains. No, that is not. That is not. They actually do that. They actually fine you or your decedents or descendants a lot of money if you do that. So, Vicki.
All right. All right. So it's between. Is it? Do you step up? That's it. So that you have to take your shoes off, or is it the watermelon? So like the two of you, it's like, maybe the water. I know that's square watermelons, but was that created in Japan? You know what? I'm going to say the watermelon is false.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Oh, how sweet it is. That is right, Vicki Quade.
Oh,
Here's the
excellent.
deal. So that's letter C for those of you who are keeping track of that sort of thing.
We're
Vicki Quade on the
tracking
board with 2 points. But the thing is, yes, they do grow those square watermelons in Japan. They're very, very popular. But the thing is, they're not eatable. They're just
Oh.
decorative. They're really
Oh.
like bitter, and they don't eat them.
Oh, interesting.
So
I didn't know that either.
now you do. And now Vicki is leading our today, yesterday quiz with 2 points, but we're just beginning.
With the first question.
Better than not, Vicki.
Yes,
Better than
That's
not.
true. That's true. Take it, and be grateful.
Right.
And by
Right.
the way, I just thought of this when Leslie was doing her thing. How do you begin a speech about sewing pants?
Do
A
it
hem, a hem. All right, thank you.
Oh,
Jesus. All right. Leslie,
It could be about a skirt too. It doesn't need to be gender specific.
fair enough.
Could be a coat.
1803.
that makes it so much better.
Oh, David's in one of his moods today. I see that. All right, here we go. Ah,
I
1803.
was watching Kids in the Hall, David. That's what I was doing
Oh.
earlier.
Oh my God, where do you see that? Where do they have the?
It's do you have a smart TV?
No, my TV's an idiot. So what's
Okay, then do you have IFC on your server?
Probably not. So, but it's on IFC channel.
IFC like at 4 o'clock on Friday night.
They're probably
4
all,
a.m.
They're probably on
I
YouTube
think-
as well, don't you
I
think?
think they're on Amazon too.
Or maybe Amazon.
They are on Amazon. That's what I was saying.
We'll
If
go
you had
there.
a smart, if you had
So
a smart
anyway,
TV.
Leslie, 1803. This is your question here. It's a multiple choice. 1803 was the year. We should tell people that all these questions are things that happened on February 5th of the year in question. 1803, English explorer George Bass sets out for a journey to Chile and Tahiti and is never heard from again. In his honor, which is true about smallmouth bass? A smallmouth bass can swim 2.5 times per second faster than its body length. B, the biggest smallmouth bass ever caught on record weighed just over 22 pounds. C, female smallmouth bass are bigger than males. Or D, in spawning season, the average female lays 21,000 eggs. I'm sorry, and I made a terrible error. This is which is false. Forgive me.
Okay.
I'm looking for which is false, not true.
All right. So one of them can swim faster than its weight.
Then its body length. 2.5 times its body length in 1 second.
Oh, then its length, 2.5 times its body length.
Length, yes.
Faster than. I don't understand. That sounds as if it gets there before it starts somehow. There's some weird. I don't understand how it could be swim
in
faster
1
than its
second
length.
it can
But
swim itself.
it's physics, and I don't get physics. It's okay. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
All right, faster. 22-pound was the biggest one caught. Females are bigger. 21,000. It's still 21,000 eggs.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 21,000 eggs.
Is false.
Oh, false.
Okay,
Damn,
I
it's
changed
false.
it. I
Okay.
made a mistake
Okay.
there.
Okay. I'm going to say the female is bigger is false.
Afraid not. Nope, that is not. There's no small actors, just small answers. We're going to do
Okay.
a roll here, and hello. Roll this thing, please. Thank you.
Does that mean the male is bigger or they're just the same size?
Go all over the place. We have Vicki with a number 4. So Vicki, you get to steal this question.
Okay, so it's 21,000 eggs.
Well, the eggs we realized that is.
Oh, that's false. Oh, no.
No,
What
it's
is
true.
it?
It's striking.
That's true. No, that's what Leslie recommended.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So we've eliminated. We've eliminated.
D. We've
Eliminated that.
eliminated
Okay.
eggs.
So
The
it's how
baby-
swift they can swim, whether the female
Oh,
is.
wait, I changed my answer, David. I said, when you said false, I went, oh, in that case, the female
Vicki,
is
I'm
bigger than
very
the
sorry.
male.
I'm very sorry. But your answer was wrong, Leslie.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that Vicki still had a
Sorry.
chance of
Losing
okay.
my Leslie had said the women bigger than men was, so that was C. That was.
So that is
I did not
true.
say that. I said
That is
male
true.
and female. I didn't say men. They're fish.
Okay,
Right.
Sorry, God.
I'm going to say the size that they're probably bigger than 22 pounds. So I'm going to say that's false.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
You know what your favorite movie should be? Big Fish. Because you just scored 2 points.
Excellent.
But here's the deal, Vicki, who is in first place with 4 points. It's not that they're bigger. The biggest smallmouth bass ever caught was only 11 pounds and 50 ounces. So it's actually half that size. They're not.
It seems rather unusual.
Oh.
Usually you think of when they say big fish, they're like, 40
Right.
pounds or, they're huge.
Yeah, but you've never dated a bass player, so that's just, I don't even know what that means. Something. That joke is finished.
You
So-
do know that my married name was Fish, Fish, and my anniversary would have been yesterday. And I won't tell you how many decades it would have been. Oh no, I left him at 8 when my son was 18 months old. No, forget that. I'm just saying it would have been my anniversary.
Yeah, but you know what?
So I'll take this question in honor of that. That's all.
Fair enough. Hey, how do you find a bass player in a rock grouper? Okay. Anyway,
Oh.
God, I'm sorry.
Oh, my
David's
upper-
ribs are hurting.
Time to go back to the
Mr.
hospital.
Peabody, this is all right. 18.
In honor of kids in the hole, 30 Helens might not laugh at that.
Okay, go ahead, Dave.
Vicki, now you can really take a commanding lead. If you
Yeah.
get this right.
Go, girl.
1831 was the year. Dutch naval lieutenant Jan van Speyk died in action today in the Belgian Revolution. How did it happen? A, he stood too near to a cannon and got his head blown off. B, why do I find these funny? B, he was stabbed by every single one of his own men during a mutiny. C, he begged a Belgian soldier to stab him rather than take him prisoner. The soldier complied. Or D, he blew up his own ship.
Oh my goodness, those are all great.
Yeah.
Is this which is true or which is
Yeah,
false?
one of these is he
One of these is
died
true.
4 different ways.
Yeah,
One of these is
Blew
true.
his head off. He had somebody stab him. Everyone on the ship stabbed him.
Like
or-
a Caesar thing, yeah.
Yeah. Or what was the last one?
He blew up his own ship.
Oh, he blew up his own ship. God. I'm going to say he asked to be stabbed.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Well, although your playing has been very sharp in this game so far, Vicki, that is not
true.
the question. No, you took a stab, but it did not work out. We're going to roll the
All
die,
right.
and it's number 2. We're going to go again. Number 5. Go again. Go again. Thank you, number 5.
Wait a
Number
second.
4. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just saying if it lands on 2, isn't that close to me because I'm 3?
We're not doing that.
We're not doing that anymore. He got tired of that.
Enough of that shit. I'm just, if the number, when a number finally comes up of one of you, it will
Oh.
be that number.
All right, fine.
All right. Keep rolling.
It is mathematically challenged. You know that, honey.
Oh, God.
He's
no,
such a dictator.
Go ahead.
Keep rolling.
Pictures.
I'm sorry, what kind of tater? David Sheward. It came
What kind of dick?
All right. All right.
No. Vicki's number 4.
I'm 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Vicki, you are number 4.
But I just answered incorrectly.
You did. Oh,
You have to roll them until
David
you
has
get
the headache already. I
you
can
need
see
a
this.
3 or a 6.
all right, here we go.
Keep rolling.
Thank you.
Rolling.
Keep rolling.
3. David Sheward.
All
came
right.
with 3.
All right.
Thank
So
you, Vicki,
it's
for
which of these is true? This guy had his head blown off because he stood too close to a cannon.
Right.
He was stabbed by every single
One of his own
person.
men during a mutiny.
during a mutiny, or he blew up his own ship.
Right, that's D.
Isn't that the
Can you read the question itself?
Sure. 1831 was the year.
Yeah.
Dutch naval lieutenant Jan van Speyk died in action today during the Belgian Revolution. How did it happen?
Okay. I don't think it's the cannon, because if they're on a ship, the cannons are going to be pointing out to sea. So in order for him to be decapitated, he would have had to stuck his head out the porthole, and went, oh, I want to clean it. Or he would have had to row up against the ship like Yosemite Sam in a Bugs Bunny cartoon. So I don't think it's the cannon. So it's either he was stabbed by everybody or he blew up his own ship. The blowing up of your own ship sounds very amusing, and we've had a B already. So I'll go with he blew up his own ship.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, David Sheward, you are the ship. Yeah, that's terrible. That was it. But yes, that is correct. It wasn't an accident, by the way. Here's the deal. Victorious Belgians had boarded this ship, which is a gunship, and rather than be taken prisoner with his men, Van Spike fired his gun at a barrel of gunpowder.
Oh my God.
He killed a lot of Belgians, but he also blew up 90% of his own crew.
Oh,
So-
you stupid rabbit.
He's actually a hero in Belgium. They see him as being, because he wouldn't let himself and his people
Be
be
captured.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So does that make the guy from ISIS yesterday a hero?
You know what they
Well,
call
he
it?
blew up his family,
They
right?
call it friendly fire, right? Friendly
Mm.
fire. That's not nice.
Yes.
Well,
Good morning, Joyce.
With that was a TV movie with Carol Burnett and Sam Waterston.
Was what?
Friendly Fire.
Friendly Fire.
Oh, that was the one about their kid dies in
In
Yeah, that
Vietnam,
was,
yes.
right.
And Ned Beatty was in it.
Because the bullet goes, no, she didn't
Yeah.
come.
Hi
Like
there.
Betty was in everything at one point.
Hi there.
Loves her the Scarlett O'Hara number, you know.
So was
here's-
Brian Dennehy. Remember those? Every movie had Brian
Absolutely.
Dennehy in it.
I remember that. Okay, anyway.
And
here's-
sometimes they were together, Ned and
Brian.
David Sheward has 2
Brian,
points.
thank you.
Vicki Quade has 4 points. Leslie Hoban.
I got nada.
Not, but soon to be probably.
Okay.
She won last week, so
Yeah,
We're
so-
gonna take a rest from winning.
Thank you, Joyce.
We move into the second round of our Today Yesterday trivia quiz here on Dave's Gone By. This question goes to David Sheward. So if you get it right, you'll be tied with Vicki.
Okay.
The year was 1870.
Mhm.
Inventor Henry Renaud Heil
Oh my God.
thrills a Philadelphia audience with his special show, A Couple Doing the Waltz. The exciting part was that the couple were a series of still images rotated rapidly to give the illusion of motion. This nearly a decade before Edward Muybridge's Horses and 2 decades before Edison's Studio. What was the name of Heil's movie-like invention? A. Panopticon. B. Zoopraxiscope. C. Kinematograph. D. Phasmatron.
Oh my God. I thought I was going to say rotoscope, but I think that comes later.
One more time on those names, please.
Okay.
Sure. A. Panopticon. B. Zoopraxiscope. C. Kinematograph. D. Phasmatron.
I'm going to say it's my question, right?
Yes, it is, David. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to say panopticon.
Is that your...
Yes.
Well, among your panoply of answers, that is not the correct one, David. So,
well.
afraid not. I
Oh,
think
well.
we're going to be guessing on this one. So let's roll that die and see what comes up. Hello. There's a 1. Here comes a 3. No, that won't work. Here comes another 3. Here comes a 4, which is Vicki. So, Vicki,
Team.
you get to steal this question.
I'm going to say the third. What was that?
Kinematograph.
I'm going to say that. Because I'm just guessing.
I didn't even say it.
Well, that was a little more than kin, but less than kind for you, Vicki. That is not the correct answer.
Okay, come on, Leslie. Now you have 50-50.
I'm
Come on.
gonna go with B, the Zoe thing, because Coppola named his thing Zoetrope in honor of the original first motion of anything. So I'm gonna say Zoetrope, whatever that was called, Zoopraxa. Thing you want.
Zoopraxiscope.
Let it be.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly zoo-like on this show sometimes, but oh my goodness, I've stumped all you all. I would have stumped myself as well, because a lot of these were real things. It was, by the way, the Phasmotron. Phasmotron. I know, who knew?
The Phasmatron?
Panopticon. Sorry?
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Panopticon was made in 1894, so like 20 years later, by the Lambda Company in New York. Muybridge did the zoopraxiscope, so that's where
Oh,
Zoe
okay.
came
Yeah.
from.
All right.
And French inventor Léon Bouny in 1892 did the kinematograph. So,
So-
this was real, but this was the early. This was the first. This was early.
Was the correct answer? The correct answer was B.
D. D. D is in David.
D is
It was
David.
D?
Yes.
Okay.
D.
So two D's in a row.
2 Ds in a row.
All right.
Oh, he's getting wily.
Well, you know I like double D's. But here we go. Here comes. Oh, let's see. It's question number 5, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which means Leslie, you get this next question, which is
I
oh
try
my.
to dig my way out of my hole. Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, sometimes you get
For
these
this,
right off,
I
and
get up in the
sometimes
morning.
not.
Go ahead.
This is 3 clues in
Oh,
the
geez.
I hate
news.
these.
So this can be like blank word or word blank, or something that calls up the word, even if it isn't necessarily word blank or blank word. So, okay, these are all related, 3 separate words related to the word we're looking for. Are you ready, Leslie?
Sure.
Okay. And the answer has something to do with something that's in the news. Paul McCartney, computer, truck.
That's so bizarre. No idea. Oh, wait.
I'm sorry.
No, that doesn't help either. Um, and it's Paul McCartney, not his first name or his last name, but the whole name,
Yeah,
Paul
Paul
McCartney.
McCartney.
Yeah, that's the
Related
one.
to this
Okay.
word.
Okay, yeah, I get it. All right.
I'm very proud of this one, by the way.
I
Whether you guys get it or not, I like this one a lot. So.
I'm sorry, guys. I have a word for each of the words, but not the same word. You know, that's the problem. I have a definite word for each one of these and not the same problem. I'm going to say
I like that question, David. That's deep.
base.
Base.
Oh,
Is that your final answer?
Sure, why not?
Well, I'm sure you had a good basis and base for that answer, but it's not the correct answer. But I mean, no, that was a pretty good answer, obviously, Paul McCartney. But no, that's not it. So I'm going to roll the die. We have a 1, which doesn't mean anything to us. We have a 5, which doesn't mean anything to us. We have a 6, which is Leslie. Number 2, which I've already made so many times, I'm dry. 4. Okay, 4. Vicki. Hey, Vicki, you have a steal opportunity.
yeah, no. That's not going to happen. I'm going through lyrics and Band on the Run and Wings and Beatles and John Lennon and music and nothing.
And don't forget that you also have
I know.
computer and
Sure.
truck. Yeah.
Truck. Well, that doesn't help. Computer. Truck. Truck stop. Computer stop. Paul McCartney stop. I don't know. I mean, it's really, I just can't, it's tossing in Paul McCartney. That's the interesting element of this. Because it can be so many things, his kids or his bands, his music. I don't know. I'm going to say, I know. All right. I have no idea. I'm going to say help because that's a Beatle.
Oh,
A Beatle.
is that your final answer?
Yeah, but it's wrong.
Yeah, no, it's not going to help you. No, I'm afraid not. So, David Sheward, you seem like you know it. So
I think I do.
Really good.
I'm going to say apple.
Oh,
is that your final answer?
excellent.
Yes,
Apple truck?
apple.
Yeah, but apple truck. I got the other two. I don't get apple
Yeah, I
truck. Go
don't
ahead.
think Apple. That is not the correct answer. That
Oh.
is a great shot, but
That's a really good.
Apple was real good.
That
I
is
thought
really
that-
good.
I didn't think of Apple. No, the word I was looking for,
Yes.
RAM.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
RAM on the
But how
computer.
is Paul McCartney?
Ram. Oh,
How
How is
Oh,
Paul
oh,
McCartney with
Right,
Ram?
right.
Ram truck, Dodge Ram, and
Right.
and computer RAM.
Yeah,
But what
I
is
was thinking
Paul-
of
I'm
his
sorry,
songs, but
everybody. I'm sorry.
Ram is his album.
Yes.
What was Ram with Paul McCartney?
It's a name of an album.
It was,
Oh.
it was first I said the title.
I didn't know
It's the
that.
first solo album.
I didn't know
With
that.
Wings, I think. It's the
I
first
don't
Wings
get
album.
what kind of truck is a Ram truck? I don't understand that.
That's the name. I'll
The name of
answer.
the truck.
Ram is
Oh,
the name of a truck.
okay. I know what. Oh, I
Dodge
can
Ram,
visualize
yeah.
it now that you say it. Okay, I got
Okay.
it.
And
Yeah.
why is
Oh,
and
so
also
what-
I couldn't do Apple because why is RAM in the news?
Yeah. Why is Ram in the news?
Because next week in the Super Bowl it's going to be the Bengals versus.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
like I'm supposed to
that's
know
a
that?
really good. No, that's a really good question, Dave.
Thank you. I told
It's,
you I was proud
it's
of it.
perverse. It's so
Yeah.
good. It's friggin'
Yeah,
perverse.
it's a really good question.
I thought I really had it with Apple, but okay.
Apple was a
Yeah, well,
great
you had
answer.
2 out of 3 with Apple.
Because-
The
but there's
Apple
an-
truck is
There's an Apple truck.
And I was thinking of songs. I was going through Band on the Run, and
And I
How
was
do you
thinking
get it?
left-handed, but that that didn't help
Yeah.
that either.
How do the apples get to the market?
an Apple truck. All right.
They walk on their little bitty legs.
the trees throw them.
Yes, right.
Are you implying
They
my
fall
apples?
far
aren't-
from the tree. That's what they
Are
do.
you implying my apples aren't what they ought to be? I'll show you.
Well, wait.
Is it 4-4 zip? Is that what the score is? 4-4 zip still? And we're in the last
It is.
round here?
It's 4-2. It's
Or two zip. Sorry.
4-2 to zip. And by the way, David,
Oh,
you
okay.
must teach apples in your classroom. Don't you teach STEM? But anyway,
No, I don't. I teach English.
STEM was.
He's
All
only
right,
told us
anyway.
a dozen times. Yes, right.
To end the second round of our today-yesterday quiz, Vicki Quade gets a question. Vicki
Okay.
question also gets a Quade. So it's a multiple choice, and you can take again a pretty commanding lead if you get it right
Or not.
or not, or David could tie or Leslie could get on the board if they steal. The year was 1919.
Okay.
Founded 106 years ago today, is the film company United Artists, a way for actors to have more say in the way their movies were funded, produced, and distributed. The creators of UA were Charlie Chaplin, Douglas Fairbanks, D.W. Griffith, and Mary Pickford. Speaking of Mary Pickford, which of these is false about America's sweetheart?
Oh, okay.
A, she was actually born in London. B, she was, for a time, Joan Crawford's mother-in-law. C, hers were the first official handprints in front of Grauman's Chinese Theater. Or D, she co-produced the last Marx Brothers movie, Love Happy.
Ooh.
One of these is, and only one of these, is false.
I'm going to say the Joan Crawford one, which is probably right, but I'm going to say that because I've never heard that before.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to make this one a cliffhanger. But no, Vicki, is she actually?
true.
I get it.
Yeah,
Douglas Fairbanks Jr. was married to Joan Crawford.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have a steal opportunity. Let's see how the die rolls. Comes up with a 3. So David Sheward, you have a steal opportunity
Okay.
on this question.
Was Pickford Doug Jr.'s actual mother, or was she the stepmother? She was the actual mother?
No, she was the stepmother.
Oh, okay. Just curious.
Because Douglas
All
Fairbanks
right,
Jr. married
so-
Joan Crawford. Yeah. So yeah.
Right, but I mean, was Douglas Fairbanks Sr. He was married to Mary Pickford, but was she,
Oh, I don't
She
know.
was not the
but was she the
biological
mother?
mother.
I don't
was it
believe
a-
she was the mother.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so
I
I don't
another
know.
one.
I won't
Okay,
swear to
all
that
right.
one.
So which of these is false?
Correct.
She was actually born in London. Her handprints are the first at Grauman's Chinese Theater, or she co-produced Love Happy.
One of these
Which of those is
false.
That's really interesting. I believe, well, it's entirely possible that hers were the first because she was the big star of that era. And it stands to reason that she could have been the first one to do it at Grauman's with the footprints, handprints. It doesn't make sense that she was still alive when they did Love Happy, because I remember she got a special Oscar in the 70s or something, and she was incredibly old, but she was still alive. And Love Happy was in the 50s. So I'm going to say the thing about London.
You're saying it is false.
She was
Pickford was born in
Right.
London. America's Sweetheart was born in London is false.
Yeah.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Well, you got it right, A. Was Dunk Your Donut, A. Guess where Mary Pickford was born, A?
Where?
In Orange Grove.
Toronto. She's Canadian.
Oh.
Figure. But
Okay.
Was that New Jersey?
Toronto, New Jersey, it is. And we have a tie.
So,
Yeah,
so that he got that one right.
he did get that right.
Right, because it's false.
Okay.
She was not born in America, but she wasn't born in
Okay.
London either. She was born in Toronto,
Okay.
Canada.
Gotcha.
Got it.
And
So now it's
Love
4-4-0. I don't like this game today.
All
I
right.
think I'm going back to bed.
This is.
It wasn't worth
Come on,
getting
Leslie.
up for.
Love Happy was released by United Artists, and since she, but she actually helped produce that movie, that last Marx movie.
She would only have been in her 70s when, I mean, she was born the same year as my mother. She would only have been in her 70s. No, she would have been in her 50s.
Certainly.
Did you say 80? Did you say? When did she get that award?
She got a
David?
special Oscar in the 70s or the 80s.
She only would have been 50. She wouldn't have been ancient.
In the 70s.
Born in 1919.
No, she wasn't born in 1919. United Artists was founded.
Oh, I'm very sorry. I heard the number 1919. It confused me. Sorry.
No problem.
You're right. She would have been ancient.
Let us begin the third round of our Today, Yesterday quiz on this episode of Dave's Come. What was that? Oh, here comes a question for David Sheward to begin round 3. And guess what, David? You got 3 clues in the news again. Oh,
3 clues in the news.
Oh boy. So again,
Apple.
These are 3 words.
Graham.
Right.
Apple.
Oh, is that going to be your answer?
Base.
No,
I
no,
we all got answers. Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. These words are not related to each other. They're each related to the word we're looking for. And it can be blank word or word blank or a word that calls up another word. Here are the words.
Okay.
Pitch, yellow, spring.
Oh, I know what that is.
Again, I'm sorry. I didn't hear them.
Of course.
Pitch, Pitch.
Correct.
Yellow.
Mhm.
And spring. Yellow.
Thank you.
Huh.
Got it, David.
Spring. Spring song. Pitch. Pitch dark. Yellow bird. Spring bird. Pitch bird. Pitch. Oh, foul pitch. Okay. Foul pitch. Bad pitch. Foul. Pitch off. Pitch perfect. Yellow streak. Pitch streak. Springsteen. Yellowstein. Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
It's a very nice couple. Yeah.
And what happened this week that would fit all of this? I don't know. Yellow. What's yellow? Bird. That's the only thing I can think of. Bird. I'll say bird.
Bird. Final answer is bird?
Yeah.
Well, I'm afraid that answer won't fly, David Sheward. That is not the correct answer. So we're going to have a steal opportunity from Leslie Hoban.
Apple.
Apple. There you go.
That's very close.
Apple.
Spring apple, pitch apple. Sure, I'd go with that.
Did she freeze?
Popcorn.
Oh.
I'm torn between the word jacket and the word baseball, so I'm going to just go eeny, meeny, miny,
Where's David's
jacket.
Oh, would you say jacket there? Is that
Yeah.
Final? Joyce is asking,
Yeah.
where's your yellow? Where's your Playbill PJs? But I like the red. It works.
You have to wear red today for heart disease of women.
Oh, well, they are. Actually, Leslie and David are both wearing red for heart disease. I don't care about
Yes,
heart disease for women.
I
so
specifically chose this for that reason.
So, but Leslie, I'm afraid you have to take off your jacket because that is not the correct answer. Vicki, Quade, you have a steal opportunity. You have a
No.
word for our 3 clues in the news.
I'm running them through my head. pitch perfect, pitch black, yellow black, but that doesn't work. Pitch bees, yellow jackets, yellow. Yeah. So it's pitch, yellow, and
Spring.
Yeah.
Byington.
Spring month, season, spring season, yellow season, yellow, pitch season.
Is that your final answer?
Sure, why not?
I'll let you do it. Here, Joyce wants to give you guys a
You
clue.
sing it, David.
Okay,
Is it getting
snap.
hot or is it me?
You give me.
Fever.
Oh,
Oh, goodness.
exactly.
Yellow spring fever, yellow.
I didn't
fever.
hear this. I didn't hear the clue. I didn't hear the clue. I just
Oh,
heard you
I
yell
was
at
just
me.
Fever
going-
pitch.
You getting me?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh. You could have said Peggy Lee. That would have helped.
Da, 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 da,
What song is that?
da. That's the intro.
Oh, is it? Oh,
To-
Oh,
The
what?
bass line. Da, 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 da.
Wasn't that P-Funk?
Romeo was da da
Oh,
da.
yeah.
Julie,
Anyway,
she felt the same.
Do we know why that word is
When
in
he
the
put
name?
his arms around her, he said,
Fever.
Julie, baby, you're my flame.
Fever. Yeah.
She
why
gave
is fever in the news? Fever.
It was in London.
What's the news?
Oh, well, we lost Howard Hesseman. Who
Oh, Johnny Fever. Yeah.
Johnny
Dr.
Fever.
Johnny Fever and WKRP. Oh, did you not know, Leslie? That
Yes, no, I knew we lost him and I knew that he was named Johnny Fever, but it
didn't-
never coalesced in my head
Yeah.
at all.
That was good. That was a good one. I like that
They
one.
was a good one,
both were
too.
good.
I like
They
that
were
one.
really tough and they were both very good today.
I liked
Really,
it better than Ram.
really
Well,
circuitous.
they were cleverly. You didn't get them. But it's not like I made them ridiculously.
No, I'm
obscure.
commending your capability here
Yeah,
for
they were
whatever
good.
reason.
Well, let's see if you're
Was
capable.
London correct? No, Canada, right?
Mary Pickford was born in Canada. Who's asking? All right, 19. We get on to the third round of our yesterday quiz. We may not have time for the.
I thought that was David. Just did the first one of the third round, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. We get to the second question of the third round of our quiz today on Dave's Gone By, which goes directly to Leslie Hoban Blake. So Leslie,
does
you get on
indeed.
the board, and you know what? If you get the next two questions, Leslie, you would tie, and we can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Coming up from behind. Go ahead.
It's possible.
1977
Funky.
was the year.
Wait.
What? 1977 was the year. Reaching number 56 on the Billboard charts today is the novelty number by comedian and DJ Rick Dees. It's a follow-up to his huge hit Disco Duck from the year before. What was the name of the sequel? A. Disco Flamingo. B. Disco-rilla. C. Funky Chicken Disco. Or D. Disco Duck Quacks Up.
Disco Duck quacks
Up. Disco Duck Quacks Up.
quacks up. I got it. I got it.
You made me say that twice. Thank you so much, Leslie.
I did. Yes.
What else could it be? Disco Duck quacks down.
I remember Rick Dees and I remember Disco Duck. I don't remember anything as a follow-up of these. I don't remember any of those.
Yeah, it wasn't quite the hit, but it reached 56 on the Billboard charts today in 1977.
You know how far down the chart that is if you're listening to free radio and there's no payola going on. You know how often that song got played on the radio? Like never. Okay. So that's why I didn't know it.
Sure. Nobody. Yeah.
I'm going to say, just because it sounds funny, and he was a comedian, Rick Dees, I'm going to say Disco-rilla. No, wait, quacks up. You want what's true, right? You want the one that's
Yeah,
true.
only one of these is true. Thank God
Right.
he didn't release all of
Of course, only one. I'm going to say quacks up.
Is the one that he released as a follow-up.
Yeah,
to Disco
yeah,
Duck.
yeah,
Is that your
yeah.
final answer?
Yeah.
I'm afraid this moves you down because that is not the correct duck-like answer. I'm going to roll the die and see who gets to steal. I rolled a 5. That's no good. I rolled a 6. That's you. I rolled a 6 again. That's not good. Now a 5 again. Come on. This is killing me. A 1. A 2. A 5. Oh, God damn it. All right. A 2.
Never happened. This never happened on Let's Make a Deal. Let me tell you that.
This never
4.
happened
You got
when
a
you gave
4.
us.
All right, here we go. Vicki, you have a steal
Okay.
opportunity here.
I'm gonna say Funky Chicken.
Funky Chicken Disco is the
Hi.
follow-up by Rick Dees to his classic disco, which is actually really catchy. But is that your final answer?
Sure.
I'm afraid all is foul with that answer, Vicki. So David
Yeah.
Sheward, oh my God, you can
Okay.
take the
David could
lead.
go in the lead.
So it's Flamingo or Disco Duck Quacks Up.
No, wait. No, wait.
No,
Stop.
it's
Discorilla.
Gorilla.
Discorilla. It's
I thought that.
A, Disco
Okay.
Flamingo, or B, Discorilla.
Oh, Discorilla. Okay, so it's A or B, right?
Right.
Okay. I do remember on the Mike Douglas show, so they had I knew someone worked on the staff and back in the 70s, and they had Rick Dees on or something, and they had someone dress up, and he had to dress up, this production assistant had to dress up in a duck suit, and like Jerry Stiller and Ann Mira and Toady Fields were all dancing around a disco duck.
Toady Fields was able to dance? Now that's the most weird part, yeah.
Or it may have been Jerry Stiller and Ann Mira, maybe it was,
Toady
Fields
had a rings cut off.
Until she lost her leg, Toady Fields danced.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She moved. She was a fat woman.
All right, I'll
but
say Discorilla. I'll say Discorilla.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, forgive me, David, if I go ape. That is the correct answer. Leslie, you had it and you let it go.
I know. I don't even want to think about it. Today is not my day. What can I say?
That was B?
Some days are mine and
B.
some days are not. This is not my day.
David Sheward, you have the lead.
Okay.
6-4.
Congratulations, David.
And by the way, this is just a little bit of trivia when I was scoping this out. When Rick Dees performed the original Disco Duck on Solid Gold, it was introduced as a song I always wish another performer introduced it. A song I always wished I'd written by one of my songwriting heroes, and it was actually Paul McCartney. During the intro.
That's great.
It was brilliant. It was really great. All right, we have a question for Vicki. So Vicki, this is big. If you get this right,
I can tie it.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on.
Come on. Let's do it.
1991.
All right.
A Michigan court bars Dr. Jack Kevorkian from assisting in suicides.
Mm-hmm.
One of the unsung heroes, in my opinion, of personal freedom in America, Dr. Kevorkian spent 8 years in jail for second-degree murder for his practice. Also true are these 3 items about Dr. K. One of these, though, is false. Which is false? A, he once put out a jazz album called A Very Still Life. He once wrote a research paper about taking pictures of dying patients' eyes. C, before becoming well known, he was homeless and living in a car. Or D, the Thanatron, a suicide machine built by Kevorkian, was recently purchased by the Smithsonian. One of these is false.
So the jazz album?
Right. Very Still Life jazz album. Research paper about taking pictures of dying patients' eyes. C, before being well known, he was homeless living in a car. Or D, the Thanatron was recently purchased by the Smithsonian.
Ooh.
Excuse me.
Boy, I interviewed him for Newsweek magazine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I had to find him, and I sent the cops to an address that I had, and it was kind of a flop house. Before he became like big. So the homeless thing I think might be true. Yeah. I'm gonna say, boy, those are all interesting. I'm gonna say the Smithsonian did not buy that.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
You know, not only is this program now sort of iconic now that we're almost 20 years, we're an institution. And I should be institutionalized because, Vicki, I'm so excited. You have just tied the game.
Oh, excellent.
6-6. The Thanatron was purchased, honest to God, in 2014 by the Museum of Death in Hollywood. They bought it for
yeah.
$20,000, which I think is a steal.
Wow.
Quite honestly. So, but Vicki, 6-6 against David.
Whoa.
Leslie, you get
Okay.
the money. Also,
I'm just watching. I'm just watching. I'm not.
Oh no, participate.
Yeah, you can.
I
can
do
find
too
out.
badly on
I'll
these.
do the tiebreaker with you, but that's it.
Here's
What else?
the tiebreaker.
But
I
we
will,
have a
but I
tiebreaker
just-
now. We have a tie. This is I'm not wearing a tie, but we have a tie.
Actually, I think this is the first time since I've been on that the tiebreaker will decide the game.
No,
It's a
we
real
actually
tie.
did it once.
Oh,
We
yeah,
may
Oh
not
yeah,
have
you're
been
right.
on
Once
one,
before.
There
Once
was
before.
once that we did that.
One time.
I'm so excited. So here's how the tiebreaker, you all know, but I'm going to tell everybody. Instead of just answering, all three participants in the game will write down their answers on a piece of paper and yawn while doing it. So and then they'll write it down. I'll read the question again, give a 3, 2, 1 countdown, and then you guys will hold your answers in front of the lens. Are you ready?
Yes.
The year was 1919. Born today in Manhattan is Aaron Schwott, an Oscar-winning actor and comedian whose stage name was inspired by a bellhop's uniform. Name that performer who was on stage the actual night they raided Minsky's.
Oh.
Well, I did hear one part you froze.
I'll say the question again.
Okay.
February 5th, 1919. Born today in Manhattan is Aaron Schwott, an Oscar-winning actor and comedian whose stage name was inspired by a bellhop's uniform. Name that performer who was on stage the actual night they raided Minsky's.
Oh wow.
Bellhop's uniform.
David, do your music.
Oh.
I'll hold this.
Okay.
Say it again slowly so they have opportunity.
And he's an Oscar winner. He's an Oscar winner and a comedian.
Correct. Leslie's nodding, so I think she may know it, but hold on, we'll do the thing. So how we doing?
I'm ready.
David's ready. Leslie, I think is ready. Vicki, I need you to write something.
I got something.
None.
Put down nunsforfun.com, or if you do have something. Okay. So I'm going to read the question one more time and give a 3, 2, 1 countdown. 1919, born today in Manhattan is Aaron Schwott, an Oscar-winning actor and comedian whose stage name was inspired by a bellhop's uniform. Name that performer who was on stage the actual night they raided Minsky's. 3, 2, 1. Let's see him. I see one. Oh my goodness! David Sheward wins the game. Leslie gets 2 invisible points, but David Sheward is correct. It was Red Rocky Buttons who made all the crowds laugh. Ho, ho. Oh, well done, David. What guy?
And he won for Sayonara, didn't he?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, he
Well
did.
done. Congratulations, David Sheward. Let me do.
I loved when you had your moment when you figured it out. I loved when you went, oh, and then suddenly it came to you. I remember his name. I remember the thing about his name being Aaron Schwott. I remember that. You know,
So
that's
well
one of
done.
those weird-
Let me quickly thank you all. Let me do very quick plugs because
because you got to get out.
Sharon's trying to log on. So
Dr. Sharon Gless.
Yeah, David Sheward. What have you reviewed or written this week for either culturaldaily.com, theaterlife.com, or the David Desk?
I reviewed Prayer for the French Republic at Manhattan Theater Club by Joshua Harmon, which I 3 hours, but it's pretty good. It's worth it. I wrote about Tick Tick Boom and The Gilded Age for my blog, which has the most Tony winners.
Oh,
love that.
interesting. Yeah, they've been talking about the Gilded Age is just populate with Broadway people.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
great.
because it's
Sorry. Now, Vicki Quade, you're doing Bible Bingo, and of course you
Late
co-host.
Night Catechism, right?
Late Night
Every weekend at the Greenhouse Theater in Chicago.
Go see it, folks. And if you've seen Late Night Catechism years ago, go back or go see.
Go back.
Bible Bingo.
We have new actors, you know. Yeah,
Well, aren't you in it sometimes?
I am. Yes.
Yeah, so that's we have not so new actors. So and Leslie Hoban Blake, have you a new critic circle?
we posted a new show on MNN finally with 3 segments. One of which was Sex in the City. Is there still Sex in the City? They've all closed. The other one was
They ended early thanks to Omicron, but
the show. I don't remember. And then we taped Assassins and skeleton crew, so that'll be coming up. We have that, so that's in the can. And Charlie got a job with the city, so I don't know. Yeah,
I gotta congratulate him on that. So
yeah, it's something to do with real estate, the commercial real estate, which is of course what he does. So
Nice.
I don't know what's going to happen to Critic Circle, but we shall see. I'll
Yeah.
speak to him tomorrow. Well, I don't know. His whole week has been, working on the job, getting himself ready for the job. So
all
I have,
right.
well, because we can't do Zoom at night. Well, we can, but it's going to look ridiculous because there's no ambient light. It'll look like we're doing something by flashlight. So,
Hey, still look better than this show. I've got to let you guys go. But
Okay,
let's
go.
okay, say hello to Sharon for us.
We
Bye-bye.
will indeed. So thank
Bye-bye.
you so much.
Have
for
a good
playing
week,
the game.
everyone.
Take care.
Glad you're feeling better, David. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Always fun to be with you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vicki. Thank you so much, David. Just
Have a good day.
And we got this. and
Bye-bye.
This. Bye-bye. Thank you, David, so
Bye.
much. Rabbi Saul Solomon joining us momentarily. Now, how do I? This is weird. I've got. Oh, there they are. I was wondering how do I? I've got two people entering the room. But anyway, let me bring in Rabbi Saul Solomon to do the interview with our very, very special guest, with Sharon Gless. I need more sleep, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you. Here's the Rabbi's music. He's coming momentarily. Anoint me with oil. Oh, shalom, my friends. Shalom to you. This is we have two different. I'm not sure who I'm inviting yet. This is Rabbi Saul Solomon, by the way. Shalom to you. I've got someone else trying to join. I don't know. Well, we'll figure it out. One of these two people is going to be Sharon Gless. Let's see. This is exciting to me. We're going to figure this out. You're watching Dave's Gone By, usually with Dave Lefkowitz, but this is Rabbi Saul, and I'm going to be interviewing the lovely, the talented, veteran TV person, film person, Sharon Gless. She has a new autobiography out. I'm going to ask, hello? Can we unmute? Can we get these people on here with video or something?
Do you need help, Rabbi?
I'm not sure. I'm done everything I can. God knows. And God does know because I talk to him all the time. Sharon Gless, let me give you some information about Sharon Gless. While we...
Let me see what...
I mean, there they are.
But they're not connected to audio.
But they're also not videoing yet.
You can do this.
I did. Oh, yeah. This is Dave's wife. Look at her.
right.
There's that Punim. Look at that. What a cute lady she is, huh? Oh, my God. If David ever dumps you, I'm on that. Oh, yeah. Oh, shalom. There she is. Shalom, shalom. Do you know this other person, a woman named Marcia Wilkie? Oh, also you have to unmute. Please unmute your...
She's not connected. Her audio is not connected.
I don't know.
Oh,
Wait.
Now I'm unmuted.
Shalom to you. Hello. And welcome
Hi.
to Daverhood. Very nice to meet you. And your husband there, Bonnie Rosenzweig.
That's right.
Now, I'm going to undo this other person. I don't know. Do you know someone named Marcia?
I certainly do.
Ah, okay. She's trying to log on as well. Is this a helper? Is this a...
She's my everything.
Ah,
Very,
so I guess
very-
it was an alternate just in case thing.
She likes to always sit in and listen to what I say, hoping I won't hang myself.
There you go. Well, no, you can hang me, usually by my clothes. Very painful. If you don't recognize, of course you recognize this person that I'm talking to because she wrote this book. Apparently, there were complaints by Sharon Gless. It's her memoir, all her years in television and film, doing shows like Burn Notice, Queer as Folk. She was in Centennial.
We have it in the chat.
We have a link in the chat to all these things you've done. Switch, House Calls, The Trials of Rosie O'Neill. You were on HBO Max's Casualty. You were even back in the day on Marcus Welby. but people may know you best, of course, from Cagney and Lacey, the cop show, which is why I'm wearing blue with my tallis. Welcome, Sharon. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine. It's nice to talk to you again.
Well, yeah. You talked to Dave last time. He's the guy.
Oh, I did.
I'm his kosher doppelganger, if you will. My name is Rabbi Solomon. So unlike you, I'm Jewish, which is but your husband.
Okay, Rabbi.
Being married.
I address you as Rabbi.
You may. Your eminence is good. I like that.
Your holiness is even better.
I do like that. My holiness. I have holes in my tallis, so it's very. You've been married to Barney Rosen for many years and been together for a long time. Has his Jewishness rubbed off on you in any way?
I don't know. Yes, of course it has to have.
I mean, like some words or
I say Happy Hanukkah on the right days, and I wrap a present in blue around that time of year. His birthday is December 23rd, so he's not a big Christmas person.
Yeah, I can. But let me ask: can you do the ch? Can you say Hanukkah?
Hanukkah.
Okay, you're in the tribe. You're accepted.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So let me ask.
My last name is Gless, and it sounds Jewish, but it is
does.
Basque.
It does.
Basque.
You changed to Ellis Island from glass, and then just like
He was actually Glaze. It was French Basque, and they changed it to Gless.
Oh, I did this. I did not. I mean, I read the book, but I did not remember that part. So let me ask. Speaking of the book that tells of your being a child and going through some problematic childhood things and problematic adulthood things. One of the most important people in your life was Grimmy, the grandmother.
That's right.
When you started writing the book and to the end of it, and now that the book, you wrote it like a year ago and it's been out for a couple of months, has your...
I wrote it. It took me 7 years to write
it. Right. So when you started, did you have a certain attitude about your rather strict, rather domineering and, shall we say, insulting grandmother to 7 years later where you understand her more, you like her better, or, oh, she did some good things, but boy, oh boy, did she screw me up.
I think at the beginning of writing this book, I knew, first of all, the title informed book, because I have never forgotten complaints about me. Actually, I'm sure there are many I did forget, thank you God. But as an adult writing about her, I didn't think of her as a villain, but I was going to where I was as that young girl. And so my storytelling about her was from that young girl's point of view and what the experience was like. As an adult, I see that she only wanted the best for me, but she was very, very hard on me. And some people in the family warned her, "You're tough on this one, Marguerite. You're tough on this one." She said, "I know," but turns out, I guess I was her favorite. And the penance for being her favorite out of 17 grandchildren is that she was very hard on me. And here I stand, talking about it. And when I wrote about her death, I cried. And I was a full-grown adult by then. She'd been gone a long time. So clearly she's always had impact on me.
And to this day. And yeah.
Anyway.
And I think you were interviewed fairly recently, and this kind of surprised me because even at your stage of success and at your level of all you've done, it's still Hollywood, it's still TV. You still have to watch how you look. You still have to watch your weight. You actually do like a 2-week go away to a weight place or I don't use you use the phrase fat farm, which I'm not.
I do. I know. I call them fat farms, and they consider themselves, health institutes. They don't like me to call them fat farms.
Yeah.
But that's what it is to me. And yes, my best friend Dawn and I go twice for 2 weeks every year to a health retreat. Let's put it that way.
And is it because for you want to look good?
The intention is to take off as much weight as possible.
Do you feel better coming out of them? Do you really do you go there, or do you feel like you suffer for 2 weeks, but you do it for the camera?
No, I do. Yes, I feel better because I know I look better. And I think the emotion of having been overweight for so much of my life and the pain that that caused, that when I get out of the health farm, I'm sure I felt better because I was eating healthily. But emotionally, seeing the difference made me feel better about myself.
See, I would go to one of those if they had enemas. Do they do the enema thing, or is it just they don't go that far? They
One of them does, yes.
right.
Yes.
I'm always wondering, did you actually go that far? Or no, I'll just eat better and I'll do some exercise, not having anything up the tuchus. Or
Well, my husband sent me to a place he loves. He loves. That's all sprouts. That's all they serve, sprouts.
nobody
I was there
loves
for, and I was there for a month. Well, in the opening indoctrination, they then tell you about the enemas. I called my husband that night. I said, "You didn't tell me about the enemas." He said, "I know, 'cause I didn't think you'd go if I did."
Did
So,
you? I know, I'm fixating on this, but did you actually, or did you just? I'll take the sprouts and leave the tube.
no, I went for the whole program.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, if you're in for a penny,
in for a mound, yes. Indeed.
right.
Yeah.
I just didn't, I wanted to be a full cooperative person and not have any excuse for not having reached my goal.
Wow.
So.
If Dianetics used those things, nobody would go to that. Anyway, let's move on to something much happier and much. I'm sorry for fixating on that. First
Not
of
at
all,
all.
if you look at your IMDb credits, there's a new one on there that was shot like a year ago that's coming up called, where is it? Constance. What's happening with that? This is a. What?
Oh, Constance was wonderful. It was starring Elizabeth Shea. It was brilliant.
Elizabeth Shue.
Elizabeth Shue, I beg your
Yeah,
pardon.
yeah, right, yeah.
A brilliant actress. And it didn't sell, sadly. We did the pilot and we had a ball doing it, but it didn't sell. So
it happens.
there you go.
God, can I ask any more upsetting questions? Let me find a happy
That's
question.
okay. I'm having a good time.
Oh, good. Thank God. This is nice. So wait, how about this? And we'll get to the elephant in the room, which is, of course, your most popular show, Cagney and Lacey, that you even got kudos from Helen Mirren. So can you just tell the story? Tell a little bit about Helen.
Oh, the first time I met Helen? Is that what you're referring to? Oh, okay. I was in New York and, well, first of all, I had the knowledge that Prime Suspect, her series in London, for which she won an Emmy here, it had been fashioned after Cagney and Lacey. The woman who created the show had lunch with me one day and she said, Linda, I can't remember the name of the woman who wrote Prime Suspect. And she said, I fashioned it as an homage. It was an homage to Cagney and Lacey. And so when Helen won her first Emmy here in the United States for her British show, the first words out of her mouth were, "Thank you, Cagney and Lacey." And Barney's going, "Yes, wow, okay." And so now I'm in New York and I ran into someone outside the theater who said, "I saw Helen Mirren in the theater. Did you see her?" I said, "No." So I go back in the theater. I want to meet her. It's clear that she had a better seat than I did because I was out of the theater before she was. So anyway, she comes into the lobby and I go over to her and I say, "Helen," I said, "I'm Sharon Gless." I extend my hand and she got down on the floor and started worshiping.
Wow. Well, she was
I
looking
said,
for
"Helen, please get back up because if I get down there, I can't get back up." And she was just wonderful. And I had this idea that Tyne and I should cross the pond and do one of those shows where you take a convict from the FBI and bring them back to America because they're also guilty in our country. And Helen said, no. I come to America and I get a convict and I take him back to the FBI because we all want to travel internationally, on someone else's time, of course. But anyway, she was wonderful and very flattering and was
No, we want to say that because the influence of Cagney and Lacey on television, on feminism, when Dave, the producer of this program, interviewed you for Long Island Woman magazine a few months ago, it was also this whole thing of you were saying how police women would come up to you and say how much of an influence this show was for them to go to the academy, to take the brickbats, to be on the first line of women who are doing this for a career. And there's a moment of pride to it. But you also said, this is a TV show. You guys are out there like.
Well, I wanted to say, honest, this is just a dramatization. You can get killed, but you don't, because they tell you afterwards. I joined the force because of you. I had an actress approach me once in a restaurant who was playing a cop later in her career. Tyne and I had already done ours. And she said, "You paved the streets on which I walk." What a beautiful thing to say. You paved the streets on which I walk. And I always remembered that. So the show had impact not only, of course, on, women of America, but even actresses who attempted that kind of work.
See, I don't get. I've had other rabbis tell me I soiled the sheets on which they sleep, and they don't mean that in a nice way.
I like mine better.
I do too. We're talking with Sharon Gless, by the way. Now, Sharon, I want to ask one quick thing. Do you know someone named Dawn? Because we have someone trying to join the feed here.
Dawn is my best friend to whom I was referring.
Oh, she kind of needs to watch on Facebook. Unless you want her to join us briefly, we can. But she's trying to. You gave her the Zoom link instead of the Facebook link. Do you want to say hi to Dawn?
I did. Sure.
Somehow she got it. Don't tell me you have another.
Dawn's really smart.
Well, shall I let her on, or should I just say, Dawn?
Oh no, let her on. Sure, let her.
Let's make it a party.
My best friend.
All right, hold on. Hello. Oh, hello.
Yeah, so you see her.
Yeah. Well, her headshot.
Well, that's making her day. She doesn't know how pretty she is.
She needs a little more cropping if for a headshot. It's too much head space, but the rest of it is. Hello, Dawn. Are you there? Sure, you have to unmute.
I'm here. Thanks for letting me in. I'm just listening.
She's just listening. We're here with of course, Sharon Gless, and her helper Marcia is listening very quietly and taking notes and figuring out.
She's more than my helper. She's my brain,
You're everything. The person is going to sue me after I say something terrible in this. And then, of course, we have Dawn LaFrida. How long have you known Sharon Gless, Dawn?
Oh, about 15 years.
Oh, Mazel, were you acting together? How did you meet?
In a casino.
All right.
There you have it.
Is there a story more, or you just struck up a conversation, or what?
Yeah, well, she didn't know who I was.
And that's how she knows I really like her, because I didn't know who she was.
And what do you
know? If you want the real truth, I'm sitting at a table and I hear this woman with the foulest mouth, and I'm thinking to myself, "Oh, I really like her." And I had no clue who she was. And every day on the ship, I'd sit and I'd play poker or whatever. And then finally one day somebody comes up and says, "You probably should know who you're gambling with every night." And I went home, and the next year I ran into her again, and we just became fast friends over the years. She's my best friend on the whole planet. I love her to pieces.
Oh, this is very, very. Now, are you an actress? What do you do?
I'm in the pancake business.
Oh,
a lot of pancakes.
Well, you certainly didn't waffle on that answer. So I'm sorry, I'm grilling you about this, but
I own restaurants.
Rabbi, let me say something very interesting about Dawn LaFrida. She has never seen Cagney and Lacey.
Wow.
And never seen it.
And have you made that a thing, Dawn, that you don't want to get starstruck, or you just, this is your friend, you don't want to start mixing up seeing her? And does she watch you on your other shows?
No, you know what? Well, I had seen her in Queer as Folk. I had seen Queer as Folk, only when I met her, she was 50 pounds lighter and platinum blonde. So she didn't resemble Debbie Novotny at all. But I don't think I watched Cagney and Lacey because I was too busy building my company. I was working all the time, and so I wasn't watching television. But I will tell you this, since I've known her, I have watched her 5 favorite episodes.
Oh, so there you go. What is your favorite Cagney Lacey episode? I'll ask each of you. I think I know with Sharon would be the alcoholism one, and where you wanted to, so you got to really delve deep. Might not be. What about yours, Dawn?
I think I have two. I like the one where she won the Emmy, which I think is wonderful. I think is James Stacy in that one, Sharon?
So it was like a two-parter, right?
No, I've won 2 Emmys.
Oh, sorry.
No, I know, but one of the ones you won the Emmy in, I said, was James Stacy in that
The one with James Stacy, the Gimp.
Yes, I love that one, and I love the one where you and Tyne are making a mess in the kitchen like Lucy and Ethel.
That's funny.
Yeah, I love those two.
That's our one
But
comedy show.
But I did, actually through COVID, I learned to watch television, so I did watch every episode of Rosie O'Neill.
Good show.
Another series that she was on. So let me ask, can I, and Dawn, I'm gonna pivot back to Sharon, of course. But
I think you should.
Sure. So hang out, and then, but you don't have to go away. But no offense, I'm gonna be directing more of the questions now to Sharon.
I want to apologize for how unattractive my best friend is, but you just have to endure it.
Well, I got to say, when we posted pictures of Sharon Gless on Facebook and we're on Twitter to promote your appearance on the show, everybody was, oh, she's gorgeous. Oh, she looks amazing. The implication, what are you, 78 years old at this point? How old are you? Might I ask?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Aren't you? I'm 78.
Yeah, you're 78.
I'm about to be 79. I'm almost 80.
Does this look like a 79-year-old person to you? It does not. Thank you. There we go. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's that's a guy from outside. He's from a trucking company.
Perfect.
I'm glad he's doing it for you because he does it to me, and it makes me very uncomfortable. Now, you keep mentioning the other, I'm not going to say elephant in the room, but the other person we have to talk about, everybody wants to know, when was the last time you had a chat or a meeting with Tyne Daly? How are you guys doing? Blah, blah, blah.
I talked to Tyne Daly on the phone just yesterday. We talk almost every day on the phone.
Can I ask you? Yeah, please.
And I threw a dinner party for immediate family and Tyne Daly. She was the only person who wasn't, part of my marriage or my blood, to give them all my book as a Christmas present. No one had seen the book yet. So I took over a private room at Musso and Frank's in Hollywood, and Tyne sat to my right. And as I presented everybody with this thing they'd never seen, my book.
Wow.
So that's the last time I saw her, but I speak to her almost every day.
See, Barney Rosenzweig's Jewishness has rubbed off on you because you figure out a way to give a Christmas gift that didn't cost you anything. That is
absolutely right. That's what I thought.
But it occurs to me, Tyne Daly is such a theater person at this point. Haven't you maybe come up with the idea, we should maybe do the Odd Couple together. Maybe we should do the Sunshine Boys or Girls.
There was a comedy that she found that she really loved, and she sent it to me, and I'm usually like, but this one I was howling, and the writer would not give it to us.
Oh, all right.
He had someone else in mind, and he tried it out, and it failed. Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
Wait. I have to step in right here and ask. Do you have Schadenfreude?
What is that?
Bad things about people who have stood in your way or been mean to you, or you
I hope
for a role and you don't get it and somebody else gets it. Do you kind of fails? Do you go like? Do you have?
No, no. I hope I don't have that. But you move on. But there was this one that Tyne liked, and I grew to love. But other than that, there's nothing else that Tyne normally prefers theater to television.
Right. So I thought maybe you, because you were in a show, you did Misery in London, and you were also bringing a show like you wanted to bring it to, but just around COVID times it didn't happen. You were going to do an off-Broadway piece or something like that. There was.
I did 3 plays. I started in 3 plays in the West End of London.
Oh, 3. What were the others?
The second one was Chapter 2, Neil Simon's Chapter 2 with Tom Conti.
Oh, yes.
Sexy Tom Conti. And the third one was a play that I ersatz sort of produced called A Round-Heeled Woman.
Right. Now that was the one you were trying to bring that to New York. Was that the one that didn't?
I did try to bring it to New York and they didn't. I did it in San Francisco. Then I did it in Miami and the reviews were so good and it was extended that London, the West End, invited me. So, and that it was a wonderful, wonderful play. Very sexy, very daring in its time. Jeffrey Donovan, who played my son in Burn Notice, forgive me. I love him. Still call him my boy. He calls me mama. But he refused to come and see me in my play. He said, I'll come and take you to dinner, but I'm not going to watch you masturbate on stage. I refused. Not my mother. I said, okay. I don't really. There's a phone sex scene.
Okay, it's all right. You know,
Did I just embarrass you, Rabbi?
No, I am beyond embarrassment. Believe me.
You look a little pink to me. Come
I
on.
would say you should see what I do with the mezuzah. But you know, no, I don't even know what that means. That's horrifying. Let me. Since you had such a career, I mean, you were the last of the old school Hollywood system stars. So you worked with everybody you know. Everybody. So I'm literally just going to throw a name or two out there and tell me a story. You actually worked a couple of times with Raymond Burr. Do you have
Just once. Yes, I did.
You were in two things, but okay, fine. Yes, we're in Ironside. You were on one of the
Ironside, right?
Yeah. And any Raymond Burr, anythings?
Well, to say I worked with Raymond Burr is a slight exaggeration. Raymond did not do off camera. You know what off camera means?
When you have a scene, he doesn't feed you the line while he's there. Somebody else,
right. You do the master of a scene with both of you. Then you'll do, let's say, my close-up, or you'll do his close-up first, and I'm off camera for him. And then you'll do my close-up, and he refused to ever do off camera for actors.
Andy Griffith was like that too, apparently. He was just, you know, unless
I don't know. I loved Andy. Andy and I worked together, and he was never like that with me.
No, but I had heard that if you weren't well known, if you weren't famous, he'd go, you know, as soon as he was done. He was off to the trailer or off to wherever. But he liked you. And
he loved me, saved my life. He was a dear friend.
Wait, when did he save? I know he liked you, and you didn't like him. But how did he save your life?
That was
what?
He saved my life. Well, it's kind of a long story, but I was doing Centennial with him in Colorado. I was a very young beginning actress, and so they had me in a quad. You know, there's those trailers that have 4 dressing rooms in them. And Andy, of course, had his big motorhome. And I would go in every morning to change my clothes. They'd have my costume hanging up, and I'd get sleepy and I'd lie down, wait to be called. And then always, about 20 minutes later, 15 minutes later, it was like clockwork. His driver would knock on my door and say, Sharon, Andy wants you to come and hang out with him. His trailer, you want it? Sure. So I'd go and I'd stay all day. His trailer, even when he'd go to shoot, he'd say, you stay right here. Don't go. I want you here. When I can return, I want you here. I said, okay. He was such a funny guy and so wonderful. And every morning it was that way. And I'd start to fall asleep. His driver would knock on the door and say, Andy wants you to hang out with him. Okay. Well, so that went on for about 2 weeks. And then I went back to Universal, went back to Los Angeles. And next we heard the next actor who used my quad was found dead from whatever that poisoning is.
Carbon monoxide.
Carbon monoxide poisoning. The ground and the pipes just were frozen. It was freezing in Colorado. And they found him dead. So and it was the quad I was in. They went to wake him up for lunch and they couldn't provide. He didn't have an Andy Griffith to invite him to his trailer.
If only Andy Griffith had wanted to sleep with him too. That would have. I don't know.
I didn't hear what you said.
Good. It's probably good you didn't. By the way, we're talking with Sharon Gless here on the Dave's Gone By program, having her black. Is that coffee? Is dark black coffee? That's
black coffee, no sugar, no cream. That's how I like it.
Good. Well, this is it's how I like my men. No, I don't even know what that
Ah, good for you, Rabbi.
is. I'm kidding. What? So we talked about Raymond Burr. We talked about Andy Griffith, Helen Mirren. Please, you're on house calls. Do you have any Ray Booktenica stories?
Who's that?
You co-starred with him on house calls. He was
Wayne Rogers?
Booktenica, Ray Booktenica. Maybe
Is that his real name?
Yeah. You think
No, Wayne Rogers.
No, Wayne Oh, well, that was a house calls. He was You're right. He was the lead in house calls, the guy from MASH. But there was an actor named Ray Booktenica who was also on that show.
Oh, that's right. He was.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I looked
You're
at
very welcome.
Hollywood. Yes.
I stand correct.
So I guess you don't have any Ray Booktenica stories.
I'm sorry, I don't.
But Wayne Rogers stories, I've heard he's not a nice,
Well, Ray, Ray, Wayne just, I think, was a controlling man, a brilliant businessman, and a very nice actor. But he was controlling. He wanted, he had Lynn Redgrave fired. I replaced Lynn. He had her fired because she was billed over the title with him, but she wanted to make as much money as he could. And she wanted to nurse her baby on the set. And he wasn't having any of that, so she got fired. I didn't have a baby I wanted to nurse, and I was billed over the title with him. And I was under contract to Universal. There's no way I would have made the money he did. But he was, they were comparing me to Carol Lombard. And after a while, he didn't like it. He said, I want you to stop being Carol Lombard. I said, what? I'm not being Carol Lombard. He said, I want you to be Grace Kelly. I said, how about I be Sharon Gless playing your adversary on film? And
anyway, he liked you standing up for yourself
well, the character, it was a comedic, it was a romantic comedy. You know, they were.
But yeah, well, Grace Kelly is not known for comedy. She's known
for no. He wanted. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
No longer with us. But I made wonderful friends on that show, and anyway, we were canceled after a year.
Well, I want to ask in terms of like over the years when you get roles, do you sort of just settle right into it? Is acting second nature to you by now? Or when you get a script, when you get a new thing, are there new wrinkles to the character that aren't necessarily directly in you that you have to study for, that you have to work on, change the voice, change this? Or is it, I'm Sharon Gless, this is basically what people want to see of me, and I happen to be playing Cagney or the mom in Burn Notice or this or this or this?
No, they're all different, but I mean, obviously it's my voice. I'm not gifted in well, I can do Southern accents very well, different ones from different towns, but no, it's always a different character,
right?
I think,
but is it a lot of
problem?
Yeah, to like before the cameras start rolling. But is there a lot of work that you have to do, or do you just memorizing? You're going to be basically Sharon Gless as this person, as opposed to sort of disappearing and working in this and that.
I'm not a method actor, but I do go different places to play different roles.
Okay, yeah. Fair enough. Well,
I had a wonderful acting coach, George Shanoff, a Russian man, to whom Michael Chekhov dedicated his book. Mr. Shanoff taught the Chekhov method. He used to call me professor. He said, get out of your head. You're in your head too much. Get out of your head. Go in here. So, after a few years, he was wonderful. Anyway, I came into for scene night one night, and he had assigned me to play Joan, St. Joan. She appeals to the Dauphin to lead the army of France. And so I arrived that night. He said, so how are you, Professor? I said, I'm nervous, Mr. Shanoff. He said, well, the good news is the audience doesn't care how you feel. They only care how Joan feels. I thought that was so brilliant. You're right. So you have to get out of your own way. And
it is true, but you also can use it. Like if you had a miserable day, that night, Joan is going to be a little more irritable and a little bit more driven, as opposed to if you have wonderful news and then Joan is a little more insouciant that night.
I don't know, I don't know if that's true, that I drag my personal life into a character. I'm not aware if I do it. I just get myself out of the way and let another side of me.
I'm not sure either way is wrong. I'm just saying.
No. I'd love to tell you that that's what I do. Thank God I had a lousy day because I've got a lousy scene to play. But you can't depend on that.
And also the great thing about Joan, St. Joan, is that her character has an arc. Gets a little Joan of Arc joke. That's a little.
Sorry.
Okay. Is there a role though that stretched you most as an actress? Where you really felt like, oh boy, I really, had to push my envelope for this.
Well, they're all so different. I think every role I played is different than the other. My mind just went blank. The role that I learned the most from, I can answer that, was Debbie Novotny in The Queer as Folk. And it's the only role I went after. I've been very fortunate that roles have come to me over my career. But Debbie Novotny in Queer as Folk, I went after. Called Showtime, said I wanted. And I'm one of those cliches that some of my best friends are gay, but I really didn't know plight of the gay community. I knew nothing about what they really were up against until I did that show. And I had 5 years of heavy education, past the jokes. And now gay community ever needs me, I'm there.
That's it. So that's wonderful. I mean, it was one of those things where on one level you influenced these women to become police, and now you're influencing mothers to accept their children who are different, be they gay or trans,
right,
or anything, or French. It is just it's just a little joke there. But yeah, no, it's a meaningful thing that you did.
It's the one I learned the most from, and I guess she was, physically very different from how I like to see myself. But I was quite overweight when I took that role. But I checked with them. I said, "Do you know what I look like?" They said, "Yes, we do. We want you. We want this." I said, "You got it."
And it was interesting that, speaking of being wanted, it was kind of like when you started writing, 7 years ago, this book, which we do want to push here. Apparently, there were complaints. The folks at Simon & Schuster were like, yes, now. And tell the story of who does the audiobook.
I do.
Right. You know how that, you told Dave how that came about, but.
Well, excuse me. I didn't know you referred to it. It was so many years ago. I went into CBS to have an interview. Burn Notice, my last series, was ending. Nice big hit, 7-year run. And CBS knew that it was about to end, so they called me in. And Burn Notice was on USA. CBS asked to meet me. So I go in. Nina Tasser, the head of CBS, the president, said, "Welcome home, Sharon." This is so cool. What respect. Thank you. I'm very touched. So she and the head of comedy, the head of drama, and the head of new series were all in her office. And I thought, this is great. I get another series. And so I was there for an hour and trying to regale them with stories, and at the end of the meeting, Nina says, "Sharon, we own Simon & Schuster." I said, "I didn't know that, Nina." She said, "Yes, we do." She said, "I think you have a book in you." I said, "Well, Nina, I'm a writer." She said, "No, but you're a storyteller." And I never did get the series, Rabbi, but I did get a call from the president of Simon & Schuster the next day, asking me the next time I'm in New York, would I come by and see him? So I waited a year because I really wasn't interested in being a book writer. I'm an actor. And so anyway, a year later, I'm in New York, and I thought, well, I'm not so busy. I called him up, went to see him, and I had written
One chapter, right? In that year.
I did, yes, I'd done several attempts.
Yeah.
But I had this one chapter, and I went to lunch with my manager, and I passed it to him. He didn't know I'd done it. He reads it, no comment. He passes it back to me. Jeez, I guess I'm sticking up the room. So, in the middle of the meeting with Jonathan, the president, Simon Schuster, my manager parries him and says, "Show him the chapter. Read him the chapter." No, I'm not going to read him the chapter. He said, "Read him the chapter." John says, "Please read me the chapter." So I read one of my chapters to Jonathan, and his door was open, and his assistant down the hall started laughing. And he said, "Not only do we want to offer you a book deal, we also want you to do the audio." Because actors know where to lean on, you know.
No, I do. I like that story just because, you know.
And that's how I got my book deal, and that's how I got the audio.
You know, so if people want to get Sharon Gless's book, it's called Apparently There Were Complaints. It's put out by the CBS derivative Simon. Well, it used to be its own company, but now
Can you ask about the title?
well, the title Apparently There Were Complaints is basically all the time throughout your whole through childhood, through life. You know, no matter what you do, but yeah, why don't you explain even more about the title of the book?
Well, I came up with the title before the book, and the title informed the book. But if you read the book, I was put into rehab. Hazleton is considered the Harvard of the rehabs for drinking. I was playing an alcoholic, but did not know it. Right. Anyway, there was a lot of scandal about it, a lot of scandal about my life at the time. And so when I got out of Hazleton, they kept it all a secret. The press was getting it and it was being sneaked out. And so a friend of mine says, "You were in Hazleton?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Where were you in Hazleton?" Trying to make a joke, I said, "Apparently there were complaints." And my husband was with me and laughed just like you're laughing. And it always got to be a joke with us. Apparently there were complaints. So when I was offered the book, I thought, apparently there were complaints. And I tell all.
Well, let me say we are not complaining at all.
Ones I remember, you have to understand.
Yeah. We have no complaints at all about having Sharon Gless in the Daverhood on this program. First of all, I want to also thank Dawn, your friend Dawn, for hanging with us, for being part of the conversation. I want to wish you well with
Marcia.
And Marcia as well.
Marcia Wilkie.
Your aide de camp, who just informed us that you have like maybe 2 more minutes.
She's not my aide de camp. She's my brain.
The question now, because of the COVID and because you live basically on an island in Florida, and with your husband of quite a long time, what is your suggestion for making a long-term relationship marriage work?
Separate bathrooms.
Yes.
I'm kidding. Yeah. Too much information, you know. Separate bathrooms, and for Barney and me, not staying in the same town together for too long. Moving around.
So, I think Barney's coaching.
Rabbi Marcia Wilkie was my director also in the audio. She flew out to Miami to direct me.
Oh, well.
She's my brain. She's my brain.
Got to thank her. And we also want to thank the person who set this up from, I didn't write it down. Shame on me. The woman who set up this interview. But we thank her very, very much for doing this. We thank Sharon Gless, of course. Please go get her book. Thank you to, and wishing you success. Is there a project that you can't talk about that you're working on? Is there something like in the offing for 2022, 23?
There's a dream I'm working on. Yes.
Oh, I wish you sweet dreams then. And
thank you, Rabbi, and to you
so much for being in the Daverhood. Shalom to you, and thank you. God bless you. I never think of saying that. God bless you.
God bless you, Rabbi.
Here in the Daverhood on Dave's Gone By on this Shabbos, this Saturday morning. Oh, and they all went away. Wasn't that delightful? Wasn't that lovely talking with Sharon Gless? Get her book. Apparently, there were complaints. I tell you, I've read it. There's no complaints. Chapter after chapter, there's going to be stuff that makes you go, wow, she is honest. wow, I can't believe she's telling this. Wow, what a life. So if, you've ever been jealous because she was this gorgeous blonde actress, she's rich, she's famous, believe me, she's lived a life that is worth reading about. Sharon Gless here on Dave's Gone By. You know what? I'm here. I'm not even gonna go. I'm gonna stay right here because this next segment of the Dave's Gone By show is something that I enjoy doing. It's me reading the papers, but I'm gonna make believe this is a whole new segment. Go out, maybe have a pish, and come back. So let me
Do like this.
There's a and scene and klezmer. Hey! Ladies and gentlemen, oh, shalom, it's me again, Rabbi Sal Solomon. Look, I've done a costume change. And what I love to do.
You're unrecognizable, Rabbi.
I know, it's the magic of cinema. I am going, this looks like a fez today. What is this with this? It doesn't even look like a yarmulke. It's like, ow, I just hurt my nose doing this. God.
Rabbi, what a beautiful guest. How does your wife feel about interviewing all these beautiful women?
Oh, my dear wife, Miriam Libby, she's very good about these sort of things. She knows I'm a man, I have a puckle, and we have 25 and a half children. It's not as if I don't give her attention. It's not, we talk about how Sharon Gless, sometimes spreads herself as an actress. God knows my dear wife spreads herself for me occasionally. But anywho, let us move onward to a whole different segment with me, Rabbi Sal. This is me reading the papers. See, I work, I have my shul in Great Neck, New York, and I'm in Nassau County. I'm on Long Island. And one of the beautiful things about living on Long Island, and there aren't many, is that there are a lot of newspapers for people like me, like the Orthodox, the Reconstructionists, the Jewish community has hard copy newspapers when the whole rest of the world is just tweeting and Googling and TikToking and top-ticking. We actually have an old-fashioned paper. You pick it up, you read it, boom. Well, I love to do this, and then I love to pick out the items that I find most fun and amusing to share with you. For example, let's look at the 5 Towns Jewish Times. You want to talk? So Sharon Gless looks like this. Even now, she looks like this. 78 years old. Sometimes 78 years old looks like this. Little different. This is their cover boy. You really don't want to see the centerfold on this. I'm telling you not. But anyway, this is the 5 Towns Jewish Times. Let's see what else lies in this wonderful newspaper. Well, first of all, if it's going to be about a Jewish paper, you know that you can't go 5 words into it without seeing something about the Holocaust. There it is. State of siege, more woke-fueled campus hostility against Jews. There he is. There's a guy. He's the guy missing Chemistry 101 as we speak. Positive message. But I just love the idea that no matter what, there's going to be somewhere in a Jewish paper very quickly something about Nazis. All right, let's move on with this. Let's find another page of the paper to share with you. I didn't realize, but
Here, my catch.
Oh,
Use your stress toy.
This is my dreidel stress toy. Check that out. God damn it. Son of a bitch. Oh, my prostate. There it is. It's been a while since we've seen Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. Well, here's Crosby, Stills, and Nash. They do look different these days.
Oh.
I'm kind of liking the beard on Crosby there. He's come out of this pretty well. What else do we have here? Oh, I missed it. Did you miss it? Did you miss the Hanukkah telethon where diversity brings unity? I don't know. There are many things about the Jewish Hanukkah telethon that they would have had on Long Island. I doubt diversity was one of them. I doubt if you looked around the sea of faces coming to the Chabad Hanukkah telethon, if you would have seen a real confluence of Black, Hispanic, Asian, and First Nations people. Somehow, I would figure most of those people kind of look like this, even the women. But let's see what we got here. Entertainment galore, live music, and, if you remember from the old Chabad telethons, the dancing rabbi, and even Jewish birthday makeover winners. The sad part is, this is the after picture of a winner. But anywho, I'm joking. That's beloved Rabbi Pearl. Actually, we know who that is. But let's move on to Pesach. Oh, we want this. We want this because we've moved already past Hanukkah, long past Hanukkah. In fact, we're already thinking about the spring. We're already thinking about Passover 2022 at the Hilton Hotel
At the
with
Hilton, Rabbi.
fun guys like these. Oh yes, look at them.
Why would you do it at the Hilton, Rabbi?
Well, where else? What are you going to do at the Holiday Inn? You could do the what is it, the Motel 18. I would do it at the Motel 18. But look what's going to be part of the Passover celebration at the Hilton. Mentalist Alex Vaz, Michael Pruzanski, animal show. I can actually show this to you while I'm reading. A petting zoo. So if you know, the old Orthodox men, you can go behind a cage and touch them. Moonwalks and a carnival. Isn't this? And it's close to many Chol Hamoed attractions. So
Close to what?
during the days when they're not the heavy duty days, there's stuff to do. So
Like axe throwing?
they have, oh, and I am going because look at this. They have hand shmura matzah, which is the best matzah of all. I'm going to the Hilton for this. Where am I going? I'm going back in town like this guy. Scares the crap out of me. I don't know what's going on. He's eating the microphone. Eitan Katz, back in town. There he is. It's not as funny as I thought it would be. Oh well.
You're thinking of Eitan Pates.
I don't know what town he's back in. Yeah, no, he's not Eitan. Maybe he is full-grown Eitan Pates. We'll never know. God. Oh yeah. You know, there are serious articles in the newspaper, the Jewish newspapers. We saw the one about the anti-Semitism on campus. We saw about the old man praying. Well, I think this is just as important. This is man's search for hummus. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, because we're always looking for the best hummus. So in terms of appetizing delicacy of a Middle Eastern thing that you would want to eat, they have a picture here. I don't think they found it. This.
Lift it up.
You'll see it. There it is.
Let me see. Oh no, what is that?
That's hummus.
Rabbi, it looks like vomitus.
Oh, isn't
is it
that
vomitus, Rabbi?
This is hummus after it's been eaten, regurgitated, eaten again, regurgitated again, and then shat on by a hippo. But
It does not look appetizing.
this,
Maybe it's a bad photo.
I'd say keep searching. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Oh, how about this mega Hanukkah event? The City Field Circus, starring Bello. How is this a Hanukkah event? I have no idea. It's just, you know, at a certain point, they're just plastering the name Hanukkah on a regular zoo thing, even though they've got some dreidels in there. Family seating, indoor heating, because it is 2022.
Family seating, indoor heating.
And kosher food.
What is it, a sukkah?
No, it's the City Field. This is a mega Hanukkah event in the middle of Omicron, by the way.
Why are they doing Hanukkah?
Why wouldn't? Well, no, this is back in December. I haven't done this segment in a couple of weeks.
Oh, wow.
And please note, there's this guy. Don't let him near your children. Don't let him near your women. Don't let him near anything. Just take him out into a field and shoot him. City Field Circus, their Hanukkah event, which, by the way, don't go. It already happened.
Maybe it has some reviews on Yelp.
I don't know why this weirds me out. I don't know why. But this is an advertisement in the paper for whipped cream cheese spread. Yeah. Everything is wrong in that except, spread makes everything wrong. Whipped cream cheese spread. Why is everything, what?
Empty.
Yeah, this color.
Is, right?
Tempty, yeah, tempty this is devash, which means honey in Hebrew.
Let me see it.
Look at this.
Why is it blue?
Why is everything? It's like.
Why is it chips?
If whipped cream looks like this color, that's the time to throw it out.
Maybe those are feathers.
Look at these. No, they're little dollop. They're like coins. Oh, it's like kind of like a dreidel gilt. I get it, but everything is like this frozen, weird blue antifreeze color.
I'm not feeling that.
I am not eating that. I am not going there. No way. I didn't even notice this. How did I not notice this? Ladies and gentlemen, we spend so much of our time as Jews trying to counter stereotypes, to show the anti-Semites, no, it's not true. What you say about us is not who we are.
Yeah.
So we over tip in restaurants because we're known for being cheap. We do all these things.
Everybody, Rabbi.
We try to be decent in what was I going to say? We try and support America even more because we want to show we don't have dual loyalty to Israel over America. And then still in a Jewish paper, they literally, this is one of the cute columns that they have here. World's biggest nose.
What is it?
World's biggest nose. This is one of the items. Why would they put this specifically in a Jewish paper?
Mehmet is Turkish.
And by the way, this one has a bigger nose anyway. So
Mehmet
there you
is
go.
Turkish.
Oh, I don't know. This guy Mehmet Oyzer. But why would you do a column in a paper about specifically for Jewish people about who has the biggest nose? I mean, think about it. And then I'm going to go back to one of my favorite things of all time. Many months ago when we started doing this segment, they had this column in the Jewish Connection newspaper. This is a Jewish Connection newspaper. And apparently this column is still here. Like, you think it would be a one-off, or maybe like a two-parter or a three-parter, but no, still in the Jewish newspaper, greatest column ever. What's in your lotion?
Oh, Lord. Lotion?
Ask Dr. P, what's in your lotion?
I not want to ask any Dr. P.
Mysterious magnesium redux. Even he's excited about it. Even he wants to know, hey, what is in my lotion? I think I need to know. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, do I have another thing in here? This is a second. No, it's just the lotion.
It's very troublesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, maybe I'll do one more thing because I'm running low on material. I can't believe it. I'll hold that one. I feel like Carson going through the cards of the thing. Let's see. There's. Yeah, just because the time has passed on this. Remember, it was the Hanukkah wig sale. All wigs, $400 to $600 off. God knows I could use one.
How much are they? If they're $400 to $600 off, how much are the original?
Well, these are made from the pubic hair of virgins.
Oh, God.
So it's hard to get.
They must be very expensive.
And finally,
Oh, Rabbi,
What?
Naomi from Greeley said, great interview, Rabbi.
well, thank you so much, Naomi. I'm glad you enjoyed the interview with Sharon Gless. This is what happens in my pants when I do an interview like that. I don't even want to. There's just so much right and wrong with this that I'm not even going to comment.
What is that?
We're just going to stare at this.
Oh my, is he cross-eyed?
We meet the highest standards, all-American beef at Four Seasons of Lawrence. That may be Lawrence himself.
Rabbi, at least he's wearing gloves. That's good.
But he's holding his meat in public. So there you go. Well, that'll give you something to chew on. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. It has been delightful for me to be with you on this Shabbos, talking to Sharon Gless, going through the newspapers. Finish this segment just by going back to this, because how could I? Just want to diaper him and bathe him. Isn't he just the cutest little thing? Gucci. I'm sorry. That's terrible. I'm terrible. I'm Rabbi Sol. Have a wonderful week. Stay warm. I know the groundhog says it's going to be 6 more weeks of misery. We're Jewish. We're used to it. Shalom. I'm going to bring Dave back into the Daverhood to do more of the Dave's Gone By broadcast. We'll see you real soon. Hey! Hey! Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a couple of minutes to noon Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. On this program, it's called Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz. So, I want to tell you a couple of things that I haven't had a chance to even tell you up until this point. I want to let you know that, let's say you like Naomi did, and so many other listeners were excited about, look how flat my hair got, we're excited about Sharon Gless being on the program. And maybe you want to share that with other people. You want to say, hey, it was a really fun interview. And Rabbi saw this, she was great. And then it was great to hear them talking. Well, it's over. They missed it. No, they didn't. Because don't forget that right on this Facebook page, the programs are automatically saved. Soon as they're over, within like a minute or two after the show ends, Facebook saves the whole video. So you can watch like our last 3 or 4 years if you want to do a lot of lengthy scrolling. And if you've ever done lengthy scrolling, you know how painful that can be. They're right there. But we have better ways even to see the archives. For example, if you go to davesgoneby.com, DAVESGONEBY, Dave's, like my name with an S on the end, davesgoneby.com. So if you want to hear the very first episode that we ever did of this program, 19 and a half years ago, it's an audio only, it was radio, but it's there. And on our 10th show, and our 110th show, our 200th and 410th show, our 710th show. Basically, every program we ever did is there for free. You can either stream it on your computer or download it if you don't mind having it download as an MP3. There's no bugs in it. There's no viruses or anything, but if you're worried about that, you can just click a button and stream it without downloading it. Either way, all our interviews that we've done, so let's say you have a friend, they're not going to be that interested in the quiz, and they're not going to care about Greeley crabs at all times, they just want to hear the Sharon Gless interview. Okay, fine. We will also abstract the interviews that we do. We've been doing this forever. So that if you don't want to hear the whole show, you just want to hear the celebrity interview, there's a whole separate archive of those right on davesgoneby.com. We also take all our archives, all our shows and interviews, and have a channel on archive.org. This is a wonderful website that's just basically taking public domain material from 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 500 years ago, if it's a book, and just gathering it all into one place for scholars, for academics, and just for people to enjoy. If you like old-time radio, television from the 1940s and 50s and 60s, and just stuff from everywhere. It's like a higher level idea of YouTube, and certainly books are on there. It's the Internet Archive, archive.org, and Dave's Gone By has a channel right on there. So if you want to watch our programs or hear our programs on archive.org and our interviews, those are there. We also put our shows audio only on castbox.fm. This is specifically a podcaster, castbox.fm. So if you don't want to sit here and watch for 3 or 3.5 hours of the whole show, but you want to go back and watch today's show, last week's show, a show from 2 years ago, it's on Castbox just as an audio file, so you can go put it on in your car while you're driving, or on a train, or at the gym, just to listen to. You might enjoy it. Castbox.fm. Look for the Dave's Gone By channel. And finally, we're talking of Long Island and, excuse me, being on Long Island. Don't forget that if you have Cablevision, or Altice they call it now, and you get cable here in Nassau County on Channel 20, Tuesday nights from 9:30 to 10:30 p.m. prime time, you can watch a 1-hour random excerpt of Dave's Gone By right on public access. It's Tuesday nights, 9:30 p.m. on Channel 20 on Altice Cablevision. Please do look for it. And look for our YouTube channel also, Dave's Gone By. Basically, we try and make it very, very easy for you to find all our content, all our episodes, our skits and sketches and our interviews. But the best place to really start is our main website, davesgoneby.com. So do check that out. If you want to write to me, davesgoneby@aol.com is the place to do that. And check our Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2. It's all just ways of staying in touch and keeping apprised of what we're doing and how we're doing it here in the Daverhood, where it's 12:02 in the afternoon Eastern Time. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. That's my darling and wonderful wife, Joyce. This is our 836th episode of the program. We've been calling it Gless Menagerie in honor of our guest, Sharon Gless. And I do have Tracy Cole. That was the person Rabbi Saul couldn't think of. Tracy Cole helped set that up from Rogers and Cowan. Thank you, Tracy Cole. Thank you to Sharon Gless and also Barney Rosenzweig and her helper, Marcy, for getting that all together to get her on the program. Very, very grateful for that. What else do we have to do today? A couple of things. We do have, oh yes, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we go today to Frederick, Colorado. There's actually a place in Colorado called Frederick, and we will be going there in just a couple of minutes. But before we do, one of the other things that I enjoy doing is it's as much a pleasure for me to do this as I guess it is for you guys. Our Friends of the Daverhood segment. This is where, and it's completely voluntary. Nobody's paying me for this. Nobody's telling me or making any kind of deals, because I'm basically promoting people and their projects. But, you know, I'm so proud when we have, whether they're famous like Sharon Gless, or we're going to have Judy Collins coming back in a week or two on the program. I mean, you know, it's a big obnoxious having people like that on the program, honestly. So it's a thing for me to say thank you so much, guys, for taking the time to be on this program. And we're going to follow you, whether you're famous or not. If you're appearing off-Broadway in a show, if you've written a new book, if you put out a new CD or music package, however they do it now, we want to let our fans know, because you are family to us now. You are friends of the Daverhood. There we go. So Friends of the Daverhood basically is me telling you, hey, this person was on the show months ago, years ago. Here's what they're up to now. For example, you know, I've never been comfortable with the framing of this whole show. That's a little better. That's better. Okay. Check out the new podcast, Stand Up Memories. You can watch either live every week, or they have the taped episodes on YouTube, featuring Jackie Martling, Jackie the Joke Man from Howard Stern and stand-up comedy fame. He's there with another comedian named Peter Bales, and they're old guys. They're like in their 70s at this point, I guess. And they're just talking about, you know, what it is to do stand-up and what it was to get started in the business. And it's a lot of fun. Stand-up Memories. They've just done their first episode. Do check it out on YouTube. On February 5th, tonight, at Feinstein's 54 Below, in person, this is not a virtual thing, in person, Linda Eder, the songstress and Broadway actress. Do go see her. Playing every Wednesday in February through the 23rd, Robin Hitchcock is live streaming his Facebook concerts. Check this out, what a deal. Okay, it's like an hour and a half concert. Every Wednesday night, a different one, different songs, different ideas. $20 gets you all 4 of them, right? Wait, and it's Robin freaking Hitchcock. The man has put out like 50 albums. He's a nonstop fount of music, and also one of the favorite guests I've ever had on the show. Robin Hitchcock, Wednesday nights, you know, this Wednesday, Wednesday after that, all through February 23rd on check his Facebook page, and it's Robin with a Y, Robin Hitchcock. Also, something that's continuing and continuing. Tonight, and then every Saturday night in February at 7 o'clock, Birdland features Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano, who both appear. They're a married couple, and they do the Broadway and Great American Songbook. They're doing it at Birdland on West 44th Street every Saturday night at 7. Playing now through the middle of February on demand, so you don't have to leave your bedroom, your living room, or bathroom to watch Untitled Theater Company's Alma Baya, a play written and directed by Edward Einhorn, got really good reviews. UntitledTheater.com is the place where you can buy tickets to watch it online. The play is called Alma Baya, B-A-Y-A. Now through February 27th, there's a new off-Broadway play being done by the new group. It's called Black No More. It's done by the Signature Theater, even though the new group is the company doing it. And it features our friend Lilias White. Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks, they are playing every Monday and Tuesday night from now through early March at a place called Bond 45, which ridiculously enough is on West 46th Street. Go figure. Anyway, Bond 45, Vince Giordano doing classic jazz with the Nighthawks. Playing on Broadway, Ruben Santiago Hudson is directing the play Skeleton Crew, got really good reviews. That is a Manhattan Theater Club production being done at the Samuel J. Friedman Theater. And playing on Broadway, Chicago, featuring Ray Bachor as Amos, Aladdin with music by Alan Menken, and then Jim Caruso's Cast Party every Monday night at Birdland. Go to birdlandjazz.com for tickets. Evan Seplow is the founder and editor of Stage Buddy. StageBuddy.com is a website about New York nightlife. Check it out. Dr. Demento. If you want to hear an old Dr. Demento show, like from the 1970s or 80s or 90s or aughts, go to drdemento.com. Not only that, for a small fee, I mean, it's all for a small fee. None of it's free. But you can either hear an old show or Dr. Demento. He's like 80 years old, still making new episodes, because that's what he does. drdemento.com. Bob Cudmore does podcasts of upstate New York history at bobcudmore.com. You want to tune into Gilbert Gottfried's amazing Colossal podcast. You want to read Phil Mushnick writing about sports for the New York Post. And you also want to read Charles Mee's plays for free at charlesmee.org. He does the same thing I do. I was sort of like, at a certain point, I'm like, you know what? I just want people to know my work, read my work, forget any kind of pay or paywall. If you want to read my plays or a couple of my screenplays, if you want to read my reviews, my articles. I mentioned that I interviewed Sharon Gless a couple of weeks ago for Long Island Woman magazine. If you want to read that article, it's at my website, davelefkowitz.org. davelefkowitz.org. Please do check that out. And finally, if you like Broadway show tunes and you want to hear them 24/7, just go to the website, soundsofbroadway.com, put together by our friend Stuart Brown. And he's really trying to gussy up the website, too. He's got, every week there's a trivia quiz. That's a lot of fun. He started doing like Broadway-oriented crossword puzzles. Really neat thing. Soundsofbroadway.com from our friend Stuart Brown. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. Oh, wow. The music rang out. Oops. Oh, well. I'll just keep talking. But let us move on to more of the show. Just a little bit more to go. Is there anything we didn't cover? Anything we want to talk about? Anything... We did the computer stuff. I think I did the snow shoveling thing. We talked about curling. Oh, thank God. What was that? What'd you forget? Yeah, I think we're just about good on that. So I've delayed as much as I possibly can. Let us get to our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, which basically means that for no particular reason and for a little while now, I've been writing short poems, 5-line poems, limericks, about all these different places in Colorado. The most famous ones, Denver and Fort Collins and Vale, and also places that you have never heard of. Each week, a different short poem that uses this place in Colorado and generally abuses it. Basically, they're limericks. They're meant to be risque and off. Oh, this one's bad. Yeah, this one you might want to bring the kids out of the room for. Because we're going to Frederick, Colorado, for our Limerick of the Damned.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 2 and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick. Rocky Mountain,
Colorado, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is time for our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. So, as I said, what this basically is, why didn't it do that? I'm going to type this over again. That's better. Frederick, Colorado. Let me tell you a little bit about it. It's a town of about 14,000 people in northern Colorado. It's a half hour south of Greeley, in fact, 45 minutes north of Denver. Now, when the town was first founded, it was named after a guy named McKissick, who was a mine owner there. But Frederick was renamed when the daughters of Frederick A. Clark, a landowner, laid out the town in 1907. So they said, hey, let's name it for Dad. And it became Frederick, Colorado. There was a lot of coal mining in Frederick in the teens and 20s, the 19 teens and 20s. In 2018, oh, this is fun. Frederick, Colorado was home of the Watts family murders. It's like what we've been watching on Dateline. The father strangled his wife and their 2 toddler daughters. Man.
That's a Dateline special waiting to happen.
And probably, I'll bet you if you look for it, they covered it, or 48 Hours or something. The Watts family murders happened in Frederick, Colorado. But other good things happened there. For example, the town motto.
Isn't it Tri-Town? Part of Tri-Town? It's Frederick, Douglas, and
Maybe.
I don't know the Tri-Town.
It's probably like a trio of things in northern Colorado. Their motto is build on what matters. Not terribly memorable, but nice. And then their logo is a gas lamp on a mountain. Not sure even what to make of that. It's rather picturesque. But that's Frederick, Colorado. This is a Colorado Limerick of the Damned about Frederick, Colorado. Ahem. A frisky young fellow from Frederick was known for performing a bed trick. He'd tie up his thing with ribbon and string and wow all the girls with his red dick. Now, I want your considered opinion as a professor on this. I could have done red prick, which would have rhymed better with Frederick and bed trick. But
I'm looking for an emoji that has Olympics, but they don't have any curling.
Oh.
They have all sorts of stuff, but no curling.
You're welcome to message me. I want to see curling. I want more curling. But you're welcome to message me right here on Facebook or send me an email, davesgoneby@aol.com. Do you think it's Sondheim would say it's probably a better poem and more perfectly constructed limerick if I rhyme Frederick, bed trick, and red prick. But it's funnier with red dick. That's what's throwing me. I go back and forth on this. That is why I'm not a normal person. This is what occupies my spare hours, is deciding whether I want to use prick or dick in a 5-line poem. Yeah, I need help. But you guys can help me just by telling more people about Dave's Gone By, bringing them to the website, the Facebook page, where we tell you what's going to be on upcoming episodes of the show. And yeah, so tell folks about davesgoneby.com, about the Dave's Gone By Facebook page, about our YouTube page, Dave's Gone By. Just get the word out there. More and more people are watching. More and more people are like, oh yeah, I've heard of that. I know that show. And which helps me get bigger and better guests. Not that the guests that we've had over the past 20 years have been in any way, shape, or form not good, but I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. What else do I want to tell you? I want to give a shout out to the fine folks at Hewlett Minuteman Press, the copy kings of Broadway in Hewlett, New York. I can't do a commercial for them or anything like that because, Cablevision Altice has rules about that. But I will say that they helped me with this lovely magazine. Just saying. And the Torong family, I've known them for years. They do good work and they're great to deal with. So if you happen to be in Hewlett, New York, and you happen to be about 2.5 blocks from the train station, and you just so happen to have some papers in your hand that you need copies of, you probably don't want to go into the bagel place. And there's no real point of your going into the bakery or the Mexican place. You might want to, if you're holding papers in your hand and you're standing outside the franchise of Minuteman in Hewlett, Long Island, might want to walk in and just talk to the Torong family. Don't conduct any business. Don't copy those papers or anything. But I'm turning into Gilbert Gottfried as we don't. No, I don't know if they still have the dog there. They had him when the COVID was first happening, I think, and they had their dog wandering around the place. I wish they still did. That'd be nice. And I do miss Yvonne. I dealt with her for about 20 years. She was working for them, and now she actually works in another school district, which is kind of neat. She is on the same Zoom meetings that I'm on.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's kind of neat. So a shout out to Yvonne.
Yvonne like that.
I used to call her Miss Yvonne, like they did in the old Pee Wee Herman show.
That's a sign of respect.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, I'm just saying, Hewlett Minuteman Press. Not going to tell you about any discounts. Not going to tell you about just pass by, wave when you're in town, and that'll be good enough. Anyway, it's good enough. This show has been good enough, I think, to put this one to bed. Part of me really wants to talk about Whoopi Goldberg, and part of me is a little tired and wants to table it, or maybe leave it for Rabbi Solomon.
Save it, make until you're fresh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's doing well.
The last thing I guess that I'll tell you is to remind you about the next couple of weeks of the show. So, first of all, next Saturday, a lot of fun on
That's
Dave's
gonna
Gone
be
By.
crazy. How many people? 6?
Just 5. 5
Just
plus
5?
Rabbi
So
Solomon.
it's 6 people.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cray-cray.
A Zoom room full of humans. And they're all going to be involved in the 2022, the 16th annual Frigid Theater Festival here in New York. There's writers, directors, actors in these shows, and they're all going to be joining us in a round robin with Rabbi Sol. It should be marvelous madness. Next Saturday's show, February 12th. Again, we do our show 9 to noon or thereabouts right here on Facebook Live.
Broadway World is talking about Frigid Festival, looking for.
Oh yeah, maybe
There's
post a
something
link.
in Broadway World, but I don't see dramatists, maybe guild.
Maybe
Vote for
they'll mention it.
Dramatists Guild.
Okay, yeah.
It says 2020 Frigid Festival lineup announced.
2020 or 2022?
2022.
Yeah.
Can
That's
you
it.
win
Yeah, you can link to it or something because that'll be for next week.
Okay.
We will have 5 of those people on the show. Very excited about that. And then the week after, Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise, on February 19th, our guest will be the wondrous, famous, great songstress, Judy Collins. She was on the show a decade ago. I can't believe it was that long ago. But, no, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. It was more recent than that. I think it was back in 2015. But yeah, she's got a new album out. In fact, it's the first time Judy Collins has ever had an album completely of her own compositions. She's been songwriting for 30, 40 years. She wrote that
It's
classic.
the video, though. That's the problem.
Oh, no, maybe
I
don't.
gotta find it.
So, she did The Blizzard. She also did My Father. She's written some lovely songs over the years, but this is the first time that she's put out an album where all the material is hers. So, Judy Collins, going to be on Dave's Gone By, coming back to the Daverhood. This is happening on February 19th. You're definitely going to want to be there for that. And then, I'm not sure about the last week in February, but on March 5th, we will have the comedian Candice Guardino. Funny lady. Candice Guardino will be the guest talking to Rabbi Sol. So, with that...
Oh, I found Frigid New York. Is that their website?
It should be, yeah. Frigid New York. Let's see.
Is that it?
Just give me a moment. Hold on. Scroll or see if that what that says here. That looks like it.
I'm gonna look for what day is it?
Well, the Frigid Festival, I don't really have that in front of. I think I mentioned it.
It's online though. I'm gonna see.
Yeah. Well, Joyce is posting
it's
up.
the open mic Frigid Festival, right?
Oh, I don't know. No. This may be very different. Frigid New York. I don't know who produces it. It's not the Tank. It might be the Crane.
What is the name of it? Frigid Festival what?
Well, just and it's Frigid in big capital letters. Frigid Festival New York.
It's the Canadian Association. This one, look.
No, that doesn't look right either. Oh wait, well,
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. Joyce is going to post.
I posted a video of the winners, but you can't look at it while you're.
Yeah, no, I can. So let me finish up the show. This is the 836th episode. Putting this one to bed. So, got to do some thank yous. Thank you so much, first of all and foremost, to Sharon Gless and her off-screen husband Barney Rosenzweig for being part of the show. Thank you to her friend. Well, let's see. There was a Marcy, was it? Marcy Wilkie was, and also the friend who called in. Forgive me for not Dawn. It was Dawn. Thank you to all of them. Thank you also again to the person who helped set that up, and that was Tracy Cole. That name is going to be emblazoned on my memory. Tracy Cole. Thank you very, very much. And to the folks at Simon & Schuster for sending me a copy and Rabbi Saul a copy of Sharon Gless's book. I'm going to hold it up one more time. Apparently there were complaints, so you can get wherever books are sold and Kindle books. And I guess she recorded the audio book as well. You can hear her do apparently there were complaints. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much. Also, to Rabbi Saul Solomon. He is, his website is very much worth checking out. It's shalomdammit.com. Shalom, D-A-M-M-I-T. Shalomdammit.com. This is the place where there are links to all the interviews he's done on this program. There's also the audio and video of his rabbinical reflections, these mini sermons he's been doing for years. Check them out. Also, it's the place to watch the early version of his stage show, Shalom Dammit, An Evening with Rabbi Saul Solomon, that he did at the Richmond Shepherd Theater a decade ago. Plus, there is his hilarious...
David, are you in the festival?
No.
Okay.
His hilarious TV show that he did for I should be in that festival. He did 10 episodes of a show called Shalom Dammit, Rabbi Saul Solomon's Peace, Love, and Acid Reflux Hour. You can watch those great shows right here on his website, shalomdammit.com. I want to give a thank you also to David Sheward. He is a theater critic for theaterlife.com and culturaldaily.com, as well as he has a blog called The David Desk. You can find them all, of course, just by Googling David Sheward, S-H-E-W-A-R-D. Thank you to Leslie Hoban Blake, who co-hosts, at least for the time being, with Charlie, a show on YouTube called Critics Circle. It's all about Broadway and off-Broadway. It's both reviews and interviews and chat about the theater and the state of theater over the past couple of years. Critics Circle, that's the channel on YouTube. And if you really want to go back, you can find Leslie and Charlie co-hosting Two on the Aisle. That's another show that kind of morphed into Critics Circle. You can find those old episodes, and I'm on some of them as well, as is our mutual friend Jeff Goodman. And Vicki Quade, if you are in Chicago, please go see her, or even if she's not appearing in it, go see one of her shows, Late Night Catechism or Bible Bingo. They're both being done at the Greenhouse in the heart of Chicago on the weekends. It's Vicki Quade, isn't she a delight? Go see her. We thank Vicki, Leslie, and David for playing the Today Yesterday quiz with us. And thank you. Anybody else we have to thank? Thanks so much to my darling and wonderful wife, Joyce, for pitching in and making the noises and the laughing in the background, which is huge. And thank you most of all to all of you, watching, telling other people about the show, enjoying, posting your messages right here on Facebook or emailing me, davesgoneby@aol.com, checking our Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2, and just basically keeping the show going out of love and excitement for what we do here, because there's really no other program quite like it. I think, people ask me, what is the show about? When I try and get guests for the program,
We should say,
what is it?
What is the show not about?
I love that. And that's also so Jewish.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's
what is the
even-
show about? What is the show not about? It's about life. It's about comedy. It's culture. It's sometimes serious things, mostly not. It's about trivia. It's about really disgusting poems. It's about
people's maladies and therapy appointments.
It's about 3 hours long and then some. That's what Dave's Gone By is about. And again, if you're questioning and you want to hear God darn, this eyebrow is so thin again. I'm molting. I'm losing hair. Oh, of course I'm losing hair. I'm losing my eyebrow hair.
We have nothing furry that I
See,
could...
so when I'm like this, it's fine. It looks absolutely perfect. I go up like this, it's like a divot. I'm so upset.
I can fix it. Let's see.
Do you have any, like, magic marker?
No.
Like dark black magic marker or something? What do you got? Joyce is going to try and undenude my eyebrow. See, look at that. It's like a whole big teardrop there. There's no, and yet when I go like that, there's hair. And it's not like that on this side. It is upsetting me.
Here,
I
maybe.
mean, oh.
You could just hold this on. It could be like a
This is going to be good.
like when you go to the dentist and they give you a filler.
Yeah, give me two of them so like I can do like
here's one.
this will work. This is going to be great.
And these are nice and dark, so they look real natural.
I love it. I love it. Hold on.
Let me get a photo of this one.
I'm Dave Lefkowitz. Look. Wow. I look
You smile pretty for the camera.
3 months
Smile pretty,
younger.
Smile pretty. Smile pretty.
Oh,
Smile pretty. Smile. Okay, there you go.
oh, that's good. That's good. That's
a problem.
if I want to be Chinese, I can.
Don't
If I want to
be
be
racist.
Japanese, I can be. There you go.
I think it looks.
If I want to be
very
Ray Charles, I could do this. What else?
It's very natural, honey. It gives you that natural. You have to look at this picture of
I
Sharon.
could be Rabbi Saul.
Just
Wait.
look at Sharon Gless's expression.
Yeah, no one quite expects Rabbi Saul the first time they see
Your
him.
eyebrows back, honey.
Oh, of course.
Thank
Of
you.
course. Thank you for that eyebrow lift, my
I
darling.
think you look great.
Well, thank you. And I think you look great too. You got to see her earlier in the
That
show.
was not my
She
intention.
never goes on camera.
Because of my spatial perceptions are off.
Well, you look adorable. You look great. You want to come back on and say and wave goodbye to everybody
No.
as we end the program? No?
Not really, no.
You sure?
Thank you.
No? I can cover your face with this. We can put this on, and you can have
Maybe
this.
later in the nighttime.
All right, I'll do it for me. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Please come back with us next Saturday, February 12th, for the 837th episode
And your cavalcade of guests.
of Dave's Gone By. Guests from the Frigid New York Festival joining us, plus Greeley Crimes and Old Times, plus, let's see, our Colorado Limerick. Maybe we'll go back and do Dave's Big Dictionary. You never know till you tune in. Until then, enjoy some more weeks of winter, and gone by.
Days gone by, they're gone.